This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn.
Beautiful morning. Yeah, the sun in my morning.
Back at you on a Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. Welcome into the program, Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy. Brett, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Gabe, and I'm watching Texas A&M. 10 minutes left, up 12 against Butler. A lot of college basketball.
Bunch. Bryant, you doing well?
I got money on that game, so I'm doing very well.
Bryant Dakin.
How much you got riding, Bryant?
Oh, not much, like $10, but still.
Not 200 like you did on our bankroll with the Tigers?
No.
Okay. That was too much.
$10 matters to me, man. I want you to win.
I appreciate that.
You got the Texas Aggies?
Aggies minus 2.5.
First hour of our show.
Let's land Bryant with a W. I love it.
I need it. I need it for him. First hour of our show
I do.
is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, and we're always live from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Check out their holiday sale. Got it going on right now. Just a reminder, we will be out Thursday and Thursday for the holiday, Thursday for Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. And Friday because of Ole Miss basketball. Brian, all of that money riding on that, you get paid like that? Did they upgrade your salary? Did they upgrade your pay?
$10? That's not that much.
Hey man, well, that's hard. That's a hard earned.
And what you don't know, that $10 might be money I won from other games.
Okay, that's true.
That's right. I'll just tell y'all, finishing a day plus 10 bones, $10, that qualifies as a good day a lot of days.
Good day.
Do you stop right there?
Who, me?
Cash out?
Well, heck no.
You bet that 10 you won somewhere else?
We roll with the action. What do you think? What's wrong with Gabe today?
Really?
I don't know.
Did y'all stay up to watch the Fresno State
I didn't get my
Pepperdine game?
text, Brett. We didn't get your text.
I was all talking, no action.
Oh, man. Good game.
Monday Night Football in the Grizzlies game.
Win of the year. Win of the year.
Win of the year. Texting with Gabe, win of the year. I had no energy. When I heard hammer, nail, coffin from Pete Pranica, the lights went out.
But we have that to get to today. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Week 4 of the college football playoff rankings released tonight. We'll give you our top 4 at the bottom of the second hour, around 4:45. We got Monday Night Football. It led to a firing. Jason Garrett out the door. And Freddie Kitchens coming in, dumb replaced by dumber. Crazy
Nothing
amount of
to fear
college
here, Giants fans.
Crazy amount of college basketball on. I'm still disappointed that Brett didn't send me his text that he promised.
I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you weren't up. I'm surprised.
Big talk.
You were
big talk. Also, a big talk and a big error yesterday. And let me apologize. And almost unforgivable. When I was making the case, if Lane Kiffin left, I know I would be proud and happy for him, especially the job he's done. And I said that there's really never been an Ole Miss coach parlay the Ole Miss football job into a big job. I left out Senator Tuberville, and that's just a gross error. He did. He parlayed it into Auburn, and I was not as mad at him at the time as a lot were. But here's the difference between Senator Tuberville's exit from Ole Miss to Auburn than if Lane were to leave. Lane hadn't been telling Ole Miss the whole time he's staying and they're going to have to carry him off in a coffin. He's going to win a national championship.
Exactly.
He has never, ever oversold. He's always
not the
undersold and over-delivered.
He's not talking like a senator being political in all of his answers to the media.
And imagine a guy that's telling people you got to carry me out of here in a pine box. At one time, the rest of their life advancing to the U.S. Senate. I can't imagine it. No wonder we're $20 trillion in the hole.
I'm still uncomfortable by him being called senator, him being a senator. It still makes me uncomfortable.
I'm not Gabe, and I will defend that with this. And I've had people ask me, what makes him qualified? Here's what makes you qualified. He's 30 years old. He's 30 or older, and he's a resident of the state of Alabama. That's all that makes you qualified.
Right. But football, helping, being an elected official for a big amount of people. And honestly, it's just the fact that you call him Senator Tuberville every time you talk about him, which is correct. It just throws me off.
I'm going on standard.
Throws
I'm going
me off,
on
Brett.
courtesies.
Senator
You think it
Tuberville.
throws me off? I've known him since 1984 when he was making $8,000 a year as linebackers coach at Arkansas State, working for Larry Lacewell.
Well, Senator Tuberville now, doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's come a long way. Hasn't he?
You could say that.
But as far as our guest list is concerned today, we have Greg Gaston at 3:30 instead of Dave Welsh. And Dave, of course, in Brooklyn with the Tigers. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard joins us to talk college football. 4:30, bring on Drew Hill to talk about the win of the year. Grizzlies win 119-118 over the Jazz. He's from the Daily Memphian, of course, covering the Grizzlies. We give you, again, our college football playoff top 4 at 4:45. And at 5, we bring on our friend Bo Marchant to talk some NFL. Now,
and at 5:30, I'm going to make the case.
Oh, gosh. I'm looking forward to this.
And when I give my college football playoff top 4, then you'll know why I'm making this case. Right now, today, Notre Dame's better than Alabama. They played a better schedule. Just with this one. We're going to do more of this at 5:30. But let's just go with both teams' respective losses. Alabama lost at A&M. Notre Dame lost at home to Cincinnati. Which one of those two are the better loss?
Ooh, well, I'd say Cincinnati because of their ranking.
I would too. I would say that's a better loss for Notre Dame and what Cincinnati has gone on and done with the rest of their season. And look, Mississippi State fans, I don't mean this ugly, but A&M also lost at College Station to Mississippi State.
Yeah, that is very true. I'll be an innocent bystander for that one while the text line starts yelling.
They will yell.
I'll be the innocent bystander.
Let me give my kind of the italics proviso now. By virtue of playing Georgia in the SEC championship game, I think that will move Alabama ahead. If a close loss to Georgia in the SEC championship game, I know it would be 2 losses to just 1 for Notre Dame, but I do think that would move them ahead. A blowout loss to Georgia, they're certainly not ahead. Yeah. And a win would speak for itself. But
right now, Notre Dame ahead of Alabama is what the case you're going to make.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
Real quickly, without getting too deep in it, would you say that out of the 10, they both have played 11 games. Mm-hmm. They both have 1 loss. So out of the 10 wins, wouldn't you rank Mercer as Alabama's 10th best win?
Yes.
You know who Notre Dame's 10th best win is?
Who?
Navy. Navy beats Mercer 100 out of 100 times.
That is a substantial difference.
Number 9 for Alabama, 9th best win, Southern Miss. Pretty okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say my rankings
not good,
are right.
Not good. Southern Miss has been horrible this year.
Number 9 best win for Notre Dame, Toledo.
Solid MAC team. Bowl eligible.
Toledo beat Southern Miss 95 out of 100
Well,
times.
right now Southern Miss has a running back basically playing quarterback. They had a Frank Gore Jr. playing quarterback because they've been so bad.
Number 8, the 8th best win for Alabama, New Mexico State. They're a joke. Yep. 8th best win for Notre Dame. They're not having a good year, and they got blasted by Notre Dame, but they beat New Mexico State 90 out of 100 times, and that's Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I will go on at 5:30.
We'll deal with
and
that
if you will
5:30.
listen, you will agree with me. If you'll take your blinders off. Now, Alabama, they do have Bryce Young. If they didn't, they'd be a 4-loss team.
Right. And if you want to discuss that, if you want to talk to us, get your questions, comments, concerns about anything we talk about today, AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255. Also, watch us live and message us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and at sports56whbq.com. I have to start here. Kyle Kuzma, did you see what he was wearing last night? Did you see it? I am into new fashion, Brett. I'm cool with it. I understand that the pants have gotten tighter. The shirts have gotten looser. They're the long fit ones. But did you see what that garment was? I'm not even mad at Kyle Kuzma, Brett. I'm mad at whoever stitched that up and brought it to life.
Fashion, Gabe.
Oh, stop. Stop.
You don't have a big poofy sweater at home like that?
That wasn't even poofy. For those that didn't see, Kyle Kuzma had his skinny jeans. That's normal. Jeans have gotten tighter over the years.
They have.
Yeah, they have.
I got one pair of big old floppy.
And we used to have the boot cut. The boot cut is sort of out of style now. No, I mean pleats are moving out unless you're going to a event. Now, The tight jeans he had on last night were the least of my worries. He wore the only thing I could explain this as, it was a pink sweater, and he's 6'8". He's about 6'7", 6'8", 230 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of
It
sweater.
looked like it was a 8 or 9X sweater. It drooped off of his hands. It was all on his shoulders.
Would it fit Shaq comfortably?
No, it would have been huge on Shaq.
It was for like a taco fall.
It probably would have been big
Probably
on
would
Taco.
have been a little big for taco.
It was like a flowing robe.
It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Have you ever seen the Lorax, Brett? Or not seen, but read the Lorax, Dr. Seuss, one of his books? You're not familiar with it?
No.
For people that are familiar, it is a thneed.
Yeah. You told me that before the show, and it's perfect.
It's a thneed. For those, I mean, if you have seen the Lorax, I'm not going to go into details about it, but that was the most ridiculous get up, and I'm glad that everybody got on him. LeBron was in his Instagram comments.
Oh, he's catching it over it?
Oh, yeah, he was catching it. They said,
See, I don't
this
think
is
that's
too
right.
much. This is too much.
I think you can wear and cop whatever look you care to.
Mm-hmm.
No publicity is bad publicity. Got people talking about him.
I guess that's the truth. I want to know the designer of the dang thing. That's what I want to know. So I can hold. We need to hold that designer accountable for what
But
they
there's some tight
put
fitting
out there.
fashion these days, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wore my
Man.
skinny jeans today, Brett.
Did you? Good.
Yeah.
Sure did, didn't you?
I'm just kidding.
I have no,
I was just kidding. You have your skinny jeans on today?
I know I do not. I have no skinny jeans. I have no skinny anything.
No,
Everything.
the what do they call them? Athletic fit, or do they just
Yeah.
call them skinnies?
There's
Straight
athletic
fit?
fit, there's slim fit, there's
Slim
a lot
fit,
of different
slim fit,
fits.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boot cuts out though. Boot cuts not used to do the trick, doesn't do the trick anymore. Also, out of the NBA.
Are you a starch iron press blue jean guy?
No.
I'm not either.
No, I'm not.
And I saw a guy this weekend. I'm not kidding you. You could have sliced cheese.
I'm going to be honest.
With the press in it.
They were that pressed.
Ooh, man.
I
They had a lot of starch in them.
In college, I wore some acid wash jeans.
Really?
Yeah, pretty
I never
embarrassing.
have.
You know what?
Have you ever worn
I
any
look
of those
back, I see
7
pictures
jeans?
of them, and I want to acid wash the pictures that I have of me in acid wash.
Have you ever worn
jeans.
any of those jeans like with the little sparkles on the pockets on the back?
No.
I haven't-
You're talking
I haven't
the Ed Hardy jeans, the bedazzled.
Bedazzle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a bedazzler?
No.
I have a bedazzler.
Do you really?
I keep
kidding.
it
Are you
pretty
kidding
simple.
me?
Well, I mean, your girlfriend might have one. You
No,
don't know.
she does not have a bedazzler. She doesn't like the
Yeah.
bedazzled stuff.
Thank y'all for both taking the Giants last night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett,
Whatever.
You're
back in the middle of
welcome.
the
You're
picks.
welcome.
I'm just giving y'all gifts, aren't I?
Oh, Brett, right back in the middle of things.
The Giants are no good at all. 30-10 last night against the Bucks. Tom Brady was fine. 30 for 46, 307, 2 TDs, 1 INT. Danny Dimes, I
Bust.
want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can't anymore. He's just not very
No.
good. He's
No,
got
he's not.
talent on the outside. He's got Kenny Galladay, who they signed. Saquon Barkley, I know they took him 2 overall, but he's a good player.
There's a reach to take him.
Darius Slayton's a decent wide receiver. Sterling Shepard's a decent wide receiver.
Evan
Evan Ingram is a good tight end.
needs to be more
O-line-
consistent catching the ball.
O-line's not great, but at some point you have to put the onus on him. And obviously from this, the breaking news is that Jason Garrett has been fired and Freddie Kitchens is going to be his replacement for the rest of the year.
I watched most of the Manning brothers broadcasts. I turned it when Condoleezza Rice came on. I just couldn't take that, so I went over to the regular telecast then.
Mm-hmm. I watched the whole thing. I missed the Condoleezza Rice interview, but all the rest of them I thought were well done. I love their guest lists. I love watching those.
I mean, until she was on. I
Right.
just don't like watching war criminals.
Mm-hmm. But I look at the Jason Garrett firing, and I see Freddie Kitchens coming in, dumb to dumber. I mean, Cheech to Chong. I mean, there's no improvement there. And Joe Judge, you can say what you want about Joe Judge.
It really is Cheech Chong, but without the van with all the smoke coming out.
Right. But and our friend Alan Bell put this out yesterday. Joe Judge we know what he did in the offseason, how much he makes them run. He runs them like a college or a high school team. But the guys that he hired around him going into this season are it's pretty astounding. Obviously, Jason Garrett just got fired. He was the OC that he hired immediately. But Freddie Kitchens, of course, the replacement. Senior defensive assistant, Jeremy Pruitt. Senior offensive assistant, Derek Dooley. What was he thinking in hiring these guys? They always say when you surround yourself, you want to surround yourself with who you want to be. Does he want to be any of these guys? These guys are all relative. When you look at the history of what they've done in head coaching stops, they're all failures at all of their stops.
Yeah, it's not exactly Bill Parcells looking over there and seeing Bill Belichick on his staff.
Right.
With the Giants. I did like tune-on with the Manning boys last night. I liked how he signed off with Eli. Mm-hmm. He said, "Hey, Eli, once a Giant," and then Eli filled in, always a Giant.
Yeah. But Bill Parcells, that was a choppy interview, though. They had a weird connection going on. The
technical setup, that's one thing that, I mean, they got to work. I mean, like, come on, Peyton and Eli are around each other at family functions. They're not going to infect each other with anything. We got to get them in the same room and work on some of the technical bugs, don't we?
Right, we do. Kevin Hart was funny, though, last night.
Kevin Hart was great. Really deadpan all the way through it, didn't he?
I love the point where Peyton was trying to talk to
Kevin
Eli.
Hart was great.
Peyton was trying to talk to Eli about the technical part of what this 2-minute drive was going to going to look and what the Giants were going to do.
And then he repeated everything.
Yeah. And Kevin cut off Eli and just gave his take, air quotes.
We kind of repeated everything Peyton had just said. Mm-hmm. But that's what I do every day. When you say something smart, I just cut you off and I repeat it because I know you know what you're talking about.
Right. But this is what I said last night. Danny Dimes, you think he'll be a good backup one day? That's what we're aiming for with him.
Yeah, but no, I don't think he will.
No re-up on a contract by any stretch of
the
imagination.
No.
He'll be a
he's
backup.
Jake Locker 2.0.
Really? You think he's out? You think he'll be out of the league very shortly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could see him being an okay backup. Smart enough guy, very relaxed, kind of
until he has to go in.
Yeah, that's very true. He speeds up. He does not know how to handle pressure. He is a very uncomfortable player, it seems like. And the Giants in general, I don't know what they need to do. I think it has to do with getting rid of Dave Gettleman, first and foremost, their GM.
He's close.
But
Jerry Reese was the problem for a long time as GM there.
They're the least complimentary football team ever. Their offense is painful, undisciplined, all of the bad words you could use, bad adjectives you could use to describe them, and their defense is soft. And they sit back in soft zones the entire game. So they are just
worst thing in the sport
terrible.
You can be called is soft, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. And it's weird.
What's next? Undisciplined?
Yeah.
What's the next worst thing you can be called?
Soft, definitely number one. Undisciplined would probably be up there as well.
Disorganized, yeah. I mean, that goes with undisciplined.
I mean, just plain up terrible and bad would be up there as well.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, too, because Dave Gettleman tried to go draft guys to be a hard-nosed, run-first football team.
Hadn't worked.
Yeah. Went and got Dexter Lawrence. Went and got Andrew Thomas. Went and got Saquon Barkley. Went and got Daniel Jones to be a guy who handed off and did play action. It has been a triumphant failure. It's been embarrassing.
But never fear, football fans. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. You can enjoy a football feast this Thanksgiving Day by winning $150 on a little old bitty $5 bet when you join FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers, this is your chance to gobble up. See what I did there? 30-1 odds. Just place your first bet on any NFL team to win Thanksgiving Day. Any team to win on Thanksgiving Day. I would go with the Lions. Yeah, at home to get that first W. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. #1 rated sportsbook app in America for a lot of reasons. Here's a few. It's easy to use. It's safe and secure. And when you win, you get your cash back in as little as 2 hours. You've won, fair and square, you get your money back. Sign up for promo code CASH to get in on the action. Celebrate Thanksgiving by winning $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code CASH when you sign up exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. You know what I almost did? I almost pulled end of quote there when I almost said sign up with promo code and then read promo code on the copy instead of giving mine. It happens. It happened to the President's Day. It almost happened to me on our show. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in town. That's Lexus of Memphis. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holiday season. And come by 2600 Ridgeway or visit online at lexusofmemphis.com and look at all the beautiful cars. Or call them at 901-362-8833. Great offers on the closeouts, on the 2021s, 2022s rolling in by the day. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 or 2022 flagship LS500, and you will be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for a luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Experience that amazing treatment at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Gotta be the Grizzlies' win of the year, Brett. Win of the year. Just the next one.
We may go word for word here in top story. Hey. I may pull it, just repeat after you.
As soon as it went final, we both texted each other at the exact same time.
Simultaneously.
I'm not kidding you, simultaneously win of the year. 119, 118.
Plus or minus 3 seconds when we say simultaneous.
Yes. I mean, there was not much room for error there. Now, Grizz win 119, 118 over the Jazz in Utah after getting blown out by the Timberwolves in Minnesota, 138-95. D'Anthony Melton out, Dylan Brooks out. Brett, I have absolutely no understanding for this team. Game in, game out, you have no idea what you're going to see. You have no idea.
I'm not even trying to understand.
You don't know what Jaren's going to play like. You have no idea what the rotations are going to look like, but somehow they figured it out last night.
There's one thing I do know, Gabe. There's one thing I do know. You know who's going to get in and get to play? Old number 46.
Conch.
Did you see the donkey miss last night? Why do they play him so much?
Well,
what am I missing that everybody else sees?
To be fair, last night you were without D'Anthony Melton. You needed somebody to fill those shoes. Is he the guy to fill those shoes? I don't necessarily think so, but they needed somebody to take up those minutes.
You're a fairer man than I am.
But they had a controlled rotation last night. Only played 9 guys, the starters plus Tyus, Brandon Clark, Zaire Williams, and Brett's favorite, John Conchar. Jaren with a season-high 26, and the effort at the end of the game by him, that sequence was the best sequence I've seen from Jaren all year.
Of his career.
Effort on the free throw rebound to get a jump ball, wins the jump ball, gets a three-pointer to go up 119, 118. And he worked.
The Jaren we dream of.
In the second half of that game, he was working himself to the rim, getting inside. There was a couple plays where he bullied the Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, or former Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert.
It's the Jaren we want to fall in love with. It's the Jaren that I buy his jersey and toss my Conchar jersey over.
It makes you want to buy the Jaren stock that everyone is selling. Go buy the Jaren stock for games like that, but you want to see it more consistently. Ja had 32, Bane had 28. All of the three of Bane, Morant, Jackson combined for 86 of the 119 points. But the Grizzlies just gave effort last night, and truthfully, that won them the ball game.
My top story right there, win of the year with the Grizzlies. This Jekyll and Hyde team, this win, the wins, they're of their collection of wins, I think it would impress the College Football Playoff Committee. But those losses are so bad, the NIT selection committee wouldn't like them.
Right.
They are young. They are in need of consistency. I think at times they are in need of a little better coaching. But they are 9-8, and it was the win of the year, and it was fun.
Yes, that absolutely. And part of it maybe is because they had a team meeting right when they landed in Utah after that disgusting
closed-door meetings.
That disgusting loss to the Timberwolves. They had a meeting, and they played with a little more vigor against the Jazz. There's no question about it, because that Timberwolves effort was low, disgusting, and it showed in the final score.
not top story of the day.
All right, my not top story of the day. Patriots. They had their pressers today. They were talking about Thanksgiving food. And I have a bone to pick with Matt Judon and Mac Jones. First of all, I'll start with Mac Jones, Brett. Mac Jones says he hates apple pie. Hates apple pie. Can't eat it. Disgusting. Now, to be fair to Mac Jones, of Thanksgiving desserts, apple pie would be down my list, right?
It's down my list at any dessert
right,
time, but I can eat it. I sure can eat it warm with ice cream over it.
To say you hate apple
or
pie?
Whipped cream. Yeah.
That's nearly
such an ugly
you
word.
play for the Patriots. You play for the Patriots. That's un-American.
I don't like apple pie.
You don't like, you wouldn't eat it.
No.
Well,
what?
You don't like or hate?
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't eat it.
Oh, gosh.
I'm tired of the war on Thanksgiving and food.
What is going on? What is going on?
Enough's enough, people.
And then Matt Judon.
I do wish the Pilgrims had killed a cow and we had fillets.
That'd be nice. Prime rib, maybe too.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Big old rare sloppy prime rib. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
A little bit of you need au jus and a little bit of horseradish.
Just a little.
Just a tad bit. You don't want to clean out the sinuses fully.
Yeah.
But then also,
I don't want to go Navage after I eat lunch.
Then also, Matt Judon, who's one of their outside linebackers, who's their sack leader, says he hates mac and cheese. And his explanation is it's just noodles and cheese. How could you possibly like that? I don't know. Carb with cheese, you can't really beat it. I'm sorry.
I can eat mac and cheese right now. I could eat it any hour of the day. I can eat it for breakfast.
Not a single issue with mac and cheese. One of my favorite side dishes.
I mean, almost
at Thanksgiving.
anything in cheese, I'm good by.
Well, I don't
grilled cheese aficionado. I am.
And I know that this season sort of brings out the food takes, and everybody gets shamed. But these two are unforgivable food takes, in my opinion. I can't do it.
I'm with you, Gabe. My not top story. Nick Saban, he's only 3-3 on the Plains at Auburn in his time as head coach at Alabama. He hadn't won there since 2015. That's forever ago by Nick Saban's lofty standards. He's lost his last two there in 2017 and 2019. And he's a 20-point favorite this week with his good Alabama team. They're just good. They are not great. They have a great player in Bryce Young, and he is the difference. If he wasn't on that team, if he was not the quarterback at Alabama, if he was the quarterback at USC, Alabama would be a 4-loss team.
And do you think they cover this weekend? I know that Auburn's sort of struggling right now. We'll see. Have to go to Auburn. I know TJ Finley's going to be a starting quarterback. We'll make our picks actually tomorrow because we'll be out Thursday and Friday for our Friday football forecast. But also, when we get to our college football playoff top four later, I have a take that I don't think is going to be all that controversial, but some people might be surprised by where I rank certain teams in my college football playoff top four. But that'll do it for our top and our not top story of the day. When we come back, we bring on our friend Greg Gasson to talk Tigers football, Tigers basketball, and learn about everything Tigers right here on Sports 56 98.5.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel. This Thanksgiving, FanDuel Sportsbook is thankful for you. That's why they're giving all customers up to a $100 bonus on same-game parlays. You can feast on the NFL all weekend long and turn little bets into big paydays with same-game parlays. Log on to FanDuel Sportsbook app and unlock your same-game parlay bonus today. Plus, if it's your first time betting with FanDuel, you can also enjoy a risk-free bet up to $1,000 when you sign up with promo code CASH. That's promo code CASH exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $100 plus 400 odds or longer wager required. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on all new Buicks and GMCs, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 150 in stock. Sunrise has rustled up a good-looking herd of cars and trucks under $99.95. Ranch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help put your brand on one of these fillies. Come on in and save some money during Western Trading Days at Sunrise. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville. Cars cost less at Sunrise, partner.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you pay a big repair bill on your existing heating and air conditioning system this year? Is your energy-guzzling heating and air conditioning system on its last leg and you think it's worth nothing? Good news, it's buyback days at Conway Services. We'll buy back your repair this year up to $1,500 toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. That's right, we'll buy back your repair up to $1,500, even if we didn't do the repair. Just show us your repair receipt from any company and we'll buy back that repair. If you didn't have a repair bill this year, we'll give you up to $1,500 trade-in for that old energy-guzzling system toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. When air conditioning systems get older and inefficient, the cost of repairs and higher utility costs almost pay for a new system. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company today, and the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating and air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Back in on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. Brian Dacus, of course, producing the program. It's about time to bring on our good friend Greg Gasson from the Tigers sideline. He's brought to you by South Hall Cafe, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, Neil's Bar and Grill, and Wilkinson's Liquor and Wine. Greg, how's it going,
Gentlemen,
man? You doing well?
Happy Thanksgiving, Greg.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Before we jump into the Tigers, question for both of you. When you know your mail hasn't been delivered for a few days, what's your recourse? What can you do? Is there anything? Because I went online and they're not real helpful. You call, they're not real helpful. You can't even talk to people. What do you do?
Tough toenails, supply chain issue. Sorry, Greg.
I was going to say.
Pay your taxes,
Just wait.
by God.
Just wait.
When I called, they had a recording and it said like COVID issues. I'm like, what?
Yeah, of course, COVID, man.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't have.
What was the exact response? You said they just said COVID issues. That's all they had to say.
They're basically saying they don't have enough drivers. So I drove over. So I got in my car. I drove over to the post office nearest my house. And of course, the line's out the door. They got one worker there. It's exactly what you've
Greg,
always imagined.
It's the government. That's how we got $20 trillion in the hole to the Chinese Communist government. You think we did that happenstance?
You know what's amazing though, and I know people are probably listening, going, "Well, why don't you do everything online?" I do. A lot of stuff is done online, but there's still things that are sent to me in the mail. So, and they're important, so I need to get those. So I don't know.
So you're 3 days behind on any mail. Let me make a suggestion to you as a friend. I would not file my taxes on April 18th if I'm you. Don't try to pay them back and go 3 days late on them.
No, that's one thing we actually do online.
Yeah,
is the taxes.
Unpardonable to not be a supplicant to them, but them to you, who cares?
Just
man?
Switch over to carrier pigeon. We'll get you a carrier pigeon. It might be quicker.
Anyway, just my issue today. It's not like I'm going to throw it out there to the public. I just did it for you two guys to give me an answer. I don't want anybody else to know about it.
And we gave you nothing, Greg.
Yes.
We gave you nothing, did we?
We laughed about it. That's how nice we are.
Yeah, nice try, guys. Thanks.
But we do appreciate you joining us today because we know on Thursday you will be with friends and family, and also into this weekend you'll be very busy with Tigers football, Greg, as I think it's the biggest game for the Tigers in a long time, because I say must win to maintain this renaissance, this age of great Tigers football.
Yeah, it's pivotal, Brad. Look, I was hoping to go to New York, and I had to wait around to see what the schedule was going to be for the football. It ended up being a night game, so I actually could have probably gotten there and gotten back. My loss. The family's going to be there, so I'll celebrate by watching the Egg Bowl and maybe listening to you in the pregame and the halftime and the postgame and all that good stuff as Ole Miss takes on Mississippi State. But, yes, Saturday night, I'm raring to go. I'm ready to rock and roll, get back to the sidelines. I missed the last game in Houston because of Tiger basketball. But, yeah, it's a very important game. You don't want to take that step back. It's been 7 straight years, and Gabe was right in the middle of it, of going to bowl games. If you don't reach a bowl game, which is really the bare minimum, and Ryan Silverfield has said that, it's the bare minimum, that is a disaster. I mean, it's not a disaster where it's going to cost Ryan his job or anything like that, but there's going to be some people are wondering if we're going in the wrong direction. It is a step in the wrong direction, but are we going in the wrong direction now where we're going to lose everything that was built up over these last 7 years and start to, unfortunately, go the other way? And hopefully that's not the case. But let's be careful. Let's be smart. Let's be intelligent about this thing. And I know people want to just jump off the Hernando de Soto Bridge and blame Ryan and this staff for everything that they've ruined the pro. No. Look, there's a lot of things that have happened. It's unfortunate, the injuries that have mounted. And if they get the win on Saturday night and they're favored to win, they get to 6, they go to a bowl game, hopefully win a bowl game, and things aren't as bad as they seem.
And there are some issues you see as far as – I said a step back on special teams. Brett says 10 steps back. I think that's more correct when you look at it. So, truthfully, some of the things that have transpired this year, you may have some coach turnover. We'll see what happens with that. But more than anything, going into next year, you see ball players on this roster. You see Seth Hennigan. You see Eddie Lewis. You see Javon Ivory. How bright do you think it is, though, going into next year with the guys they have on the roster?
Well, they got some talented players that are coming back. They're also losing a bunch of talented players. It's going to be pivotal to have a good recruiting class, number one, but really important, I think, in this day and age, is to hit the transfer portal and hit it hard. Be able to bring in guys that can play right away, that have played in other programs. Also look at the junior college ranks, which has always been something that schools have looked at, and get guys that can come in and immediately play. Because, yes, a lot of talent coming back, but there isn't a lot of depth on this team right now. And so you're going to lose some of those guys to eligibility, obviously running out of their years to play, or some that maybe just want to move on. So I think it's going to be very important to be able to do a really, really good job in recruiting, and that's recruiting the high school ranks, but also doing it through JUCO and through the transfer portal.
Greg, starting tomorrow night in Brooklyn, rather. The first game's a good one, Iowa State, and Xavier, the second one's real good with a lot of local interest. First really big test of the year against ACC Virginia Tech. They're undefeated. Tigers undefeated. Iowa State and Xavier's all undefeated. None of those teams all these teams that defeated are anything like these teams that are in Brooklyn. So tomorrow night, the first big test.
Yeah, no question about it. They step up a level. They stepped up a level playing St. Louis and Western Kentucky after their first 2 games, and now they take another step up. And this is a really solid Virginia Tech team that plays very well together. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't give away games. They haven't lost, as you mentioned. Kevy Aluma is a really good leader for that team, a good player, their leading scorer. Storm Murphy's a guy you look at and go, hey, I could take this guy to the hole. This is no problem. Storm Murphy is really, really good, and he's a good leader for that team as well. So they have a mixture of veterans and young players. And so what will be tested now is Memphis's chemistry, and to see what they have learned through their first 4 games. We saw the 26 turnovers against Western Kentucky, which is atrocious, but it didn't cost them the game. That's how talented this Memphis team is. I'll be curious to see exactly what Penny ends up doing with the rotation, because we've been talking a lot, especially about the rotation, even going back a couple of months before the season, before they were even assembled in camp. How are all these guys going to get minutes? What is he going to do to distribute minutes? Well, now when they're playing a higher caliber opponent, I would think he would go to what he has said he's going to go to, and that's 9 players, maybe 10 players, and probably restricted minutes for those backups as long as nobody gets into foul trouble or, God forbid, gets hurt. So you're going to see the bulk of the minutes from the guys you expect. But those 3 or 4 guys coming off the bench, who will they be? Because it was really interesting to hear what he had to say after the Western Kentucky game, that he should have brought Earl Timberlake in, but he kept Alex Lomax in there. 25 minutes for Alo, 12 or 13 for Timberlake, and Timberlake had good numbers. Are we going to see Josh Minot, who we saw for just 4 minutes in the last game? So I think we're all very curious to see what happens there. And just another statement that he has made is that he says when he limits his rotation and limits who's handling the ball, then the turnovers will drop. We'll see. We'll see if the turnovers drop. Again, Alex Lomax, who wasn't the only one turning the ball over, they all were, but he had 6 turnovers. Now, he had 4 assists, he had 3 steals, he does some good things. But he's a senior. He's one of the guys you expect to protect the basketball and not make and try to make that home run pass to get a beautiful highlight reel dunk. Look, that's nice when it happens in the midst of a game, in the midst of your offense, and you run a backdoor cut and somebody gets free for an alley-oop dunk. But when you throw it all the way down the court and it gets tipped and knocked out of bounds or stolen and you turn it over and they start to mount, that's ugly basketball. And you don't want to have that happen against good teams because you will lose if you turn the ball over 26 times against some of these teams that are coming up on the schedule.
And I'm sure that, you talk about the turnovers. This has been something that has sort of been around since Penny Hardaway's taken over. Sometimes they get out of sorts. They turn the ball over. 26 turnovers, though, and winning by 12 is definitely a welcome sight for the fan base, some people in the media. Now, the one thing the other night that was a little bit concerning to me watching them play Western Kentucky, you sort of look at what Western Kentucky did to throw them off their game in the first half. They went to a zone, and the Tigers didn't attack it. What do you think of their plan, and how much do you think they'll see that coming up here soon?
Well, it all depends on the coach's philosophy. There are coaches out there that strictly play man,
right?
And they won't change, even if they play a Memphis team that would be better suited to play zone. But there's a lot of coaches also that will mix it up. And I'm not familiar with what Virginia Tech will try to do, but I would assume that there'll be a mixture of man and zone. But that's the way to try to keep the Tigers' offense a little bit off kilter, because right now, as a structured half-court offense, they're not clicking completely. They're doing some good things. But we know that if you let Memphis dictate pace and they're out there running in transition, they're going to beat you down. They're going to beat you down bad. So you get that zone, you slow them down, you have to make them dribble and make sure that they're not turning the ball over, find the right guys. I think Memphis does a good job in assisting on buckets made. I think they are very unselfish, but again, it comes down to being able to make the right play. There's so many telegraphed passes that Memphis makes. It happened last year. It's happened so far this year. Or dangerous cross-court passes. And this is done by veteran guys like Quinones. We've seen Nolly do it. We've seen Lomax do it. So that's what a half-court offense will do. It'll force you to try to be more deliberate on offense, and Memphis wants to control the pace of it. But you have Duren, and so you can go inside to Jalen Duren, and he's been absolutely terrific. And if Amani Bates is shooting well, and we know that he can. He didn't in his last game, but we know he can. He's shooting well. Then you have to worry about the outside. That opens up things a little bit more for the inside. And that's the way it goes with basketball. It's an outside-inside game, maybe more this time in this day and age. It's inside-outside. But if both are clicking, it keeps things honest for the defense, because now they got to be on their heels and they got to be on their toes at the same time.
Yep.
Can we live with a 1-1 in New York?
Yeah, I think we can live with. I think we can live with a 1-1, but you got those 4 SEC teams coming up after this. Yep. You've moved up into the top 10. You're number 9 in the AP, 10 in the coaches. Yeah, look, it's not the end of the world, Brett. If you lose one of those games, it's not the end of the world. But with the talent they have, let's not mistake their talent. They have more talent on that roster than Virginia Tech does, than Xavier does, and Iowa State does. Not to say that those 3 teams don't have talent. They do. But they don't have as much talent as Memphis does. And here's the thing. It's not just young talent. It's a mixture of veteran players and young players. So you can't just blame it on the youth of the team, which was certainly something you could use when Wiseman was here. Obviously, Wiseman did not last the season, but if he had been here and they struggled at times, you could say, well, they're very, very young. There was nobody that was an older player on that team of consequence. So now you have a nice mixture.
Right.
So you don't expect to be able to just say, we're young, we're learning. No, you're not. You're not young. You're a mixture of veterans, and you're a mixture of young, talented players, and your roster is way better as far as talent is concerned than the other three.
And the difference between that Wiseman team and roster, that was year 2 of Coach Hardaway. This is year 4. I dare say, guys, that if you had a draft of the players on the 4 teams in Brooklyn at Barclays, there would be 10 Tigers drafted before the first Xavier, Iowa State, or Virginia Tech player.
Would not doubt it.
Yeah, there's no surprise. When you have 2 5-star guys, who's one that is projected to be in this upcoming draft in the spring, a top 3-4 selection, and then the other one in Bates, 2 years from now, will probably be projected as a top 5 selection. You have guys going gaga over Josh Minot, who got 4 minutes in the last game, and others who believe Earl Timberlake is eventually an NBA player. And then who knows if anybody else from that roster. Landers Nolly, if he can consistently knock down that 3, and he's gotten off to a fairly average start, but he's a guy that could find himself in the association. So, yeah,
right.
The talent is vast for Memphis.
Yes, he is our friend Greg Gaston. You can listen to him 7 to 10 on Sports 56 Mornings with Eli Savoy right here on these airwaves. Greg, we appreciate it, man. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the game, Brett, tomorrow night. Thursday night. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it, and I will. Thank you so much. Greg Gaston with us every Thursday, and we sure appreciate that lineup of great sponsors, don't we, Gabe?
Yes, brought to you by South Hall Cafe, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, Mid-South Hobbies, 3A Collisions, Neil's Bar and Grill, and Wilkinson's Liquor and Wine. Happy Thanksgiving from everyone at All-Star Chevrolet to all our great listeners, and they appreciate your business during this year and look forward to a great 2022. And the new Silverados and Tahoes, they are at All-Star, and more on the way. And you can claim your new 2021 or 2022 today. By the end of business today, in the next 3 hours, you can claim it. They're down in Olive Branch off Highway 78, Kraft Goodman Road. The lot is full of certified pre-owned Chevys. If it's on your wish list, they have it at All-Star. Holiday travel starts at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, and an added Chevy bonus in November for all first responders, teachers, military, college students. With any new All-Star Chevy you want, enjoy an extra $500. Remember, it's not the Pike, it's not Mount Moriah, it's not Collierville or South Haven. It's got to be Olive Branch. If you want to sell any car, truck, or SUV, All-Star will buy it even if you owe money on it. Even if you didn't buy one of theirs, they will buy yours. Call Jeff or Kevin or Scott or Drew. They said you can bring your title and you'll get a check today. Find new roads to Olive Branch and to All-Star Chevrolet. Visit them on the web at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, have some breaking news out of college football that could have some serious consequence on the coaching carousel coming up this offseason. Make sure you stay tuned on Sports 56, 98.5.
The all-new Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, congratulations on the new time slot.
Thanks, and congratulations to you for, let's say, doing commercials for Central Barbecue.
That was very diplomatic.
Hey, doing commercials for Central Barbecue is nothing to sneeze at. You get to tell everyone about the best slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue there is, plus all the other great things at Central Barbecue, like the ribs and the smoked chicken wings and the great bologna sandwich. You get to tell them about those things.
Actually, you just did. You just did the one job I had to do today.
I mean, I didn't mean to.
Fine. You get the new time slot, and you get to tell everyone about Central Barbecue.
I'm Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors, and I have to really congratulate you, Mallory, who is also with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors, for using his hunting skills when it comes to finding homes for his clients.
Thanks, Sheldon. Yes, I get them into their hunting gear by getting them pre-qualified with a local lender. Then we stalk the prey. We go on the hunt into the multiple listing service as well as other internet sites that other hunters, other agents, don't use. And once we find what we're hunting, we make the offer to beat other agents out there in the field.
Hugh, that's all well and good. But what do you do once you get the house?
Well, we can't very well mount it on the wall, but our clients will be living in their dream home while everyone else is still hunting.
Remember, while you, Mallory, moves Memphis at 497-9756, when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now. memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
If you drive a car, truck, SUV, or vehicle of any kind, you need Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. That's right. With the free Get Upside gas app, you can get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas. Nearly 3 million people have earned cash back with Get Upside just for buying gas.
I always use Get Upside. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love getting money back for things I use every day. It's just free money for buying gas.
There's no catch. It's simple. And you get your cash back right away.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents per gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code HORN for a 25 cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Earn cash back on gas on every fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code HORN for a 25 cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HORN.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number.
So we have some breaking news out of Happy Valley. Looks like Penn State and James Franklin have officially agreed to a 10-year contract extension, extending him through the 2031
10-year deals are flying
season.
around in the Big Ten, aren't they?
They sure are. Mel Tucker hasn't
Poplar
signed.
Ridgeway
Hold
winning
up.
today, isn't it?
Mel Tucker hadn't officially signed his though.
He
His
will,
tenure.
though.
Yeah, he will eventually. Now, this is exactly what you're supposed to do, Brett. If you're a coach of James Franklin's stature, and we talked
played it out
yesterday.
perfect.
I thought he would go to USC. I thought there was a chance that would happen. That's
I did
obviously
too.
not going to happen at this
I never
point.
thought LSU.
But
I did think LSU for Mel
This is
Tucker,
what
though.
you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mel Tucker tried to do the same thing. We'll see when he signs his. But it brings me back to what we talked about yesterday. Sam Pittman. Where are the conversations? Why is this not being had? Why is he not being re-upped at this moment?
Why wouldn't you float him for Florida? He's a natural fit. He's always recruited
Doesn't mean
that
he
part
has
of
to
the
go
world.
there. Does
No,
not
he's
mean he has
always
to go
recruited
there.
that part of the world as an O-line coach, a very successful offensive line and recruiter. He knows everybody. I mean, you would almost have to – and to the people that want to get mad at any of the agents, but the biggest in the college coaching industry agent is Memphis's very own Jimmy Sexton. That, again, very good friend of mine that I think the world of, has been very nice to me and very nice to my family. I think the world of. I know he is a really good man. He's not making anybody do anything they don't want to do.
Yep.
He's not forcing anybody to sign anything.
And what's his job? To put his clients in the best
Advocate
position.
for his client.
That's it. And he does a very good job of it. And there's no surprise that James Franklin is getting re-upped at this moment. He's done a good job at Penn State. He's taken over. Bill O'Brien did a good job revitalizing the program after all of the wreck that happened. And now James Franklin has carried it over. Now, recently,
and it shows
he hasn't
it's hard
been
to
great.
bomb a coach out, isn't it? Man,
yes.
For A&M to dislodge Jimbo from FSU is still remarkable. Now, Scott Woodward had the connection, but it is hard. Dan Mullen left Mississippi State for Florida, and Tuberville left Ole Miss for Auburn way back when. But there aren't many times you see Power 5. Are you seeing that SEC somebody leave for another one?
And Brett, in those situations, it almost seems like that person has to have a local tie to where they're going. Has to be from that area, generally speaking, when they're leaving a good Power 5 job that they've done well at. So, and this sort of goes back to the Lane Kiffin to Miami talk. That is the main reason he would leave for a job like Miami's, because he's familiar with that area. He loves that area.
That's
Right.
the only Lane Kiffin associated rumor that I'm sweating. And if he takes it, then for me, I would say thank you. You were very kind to me, and you were very successful for Ole Miss. I mean, look where Ole Miss, even with a loss Thursday night, let's get to about 11 o'clock on our postgame Thursday night. Compare Ole Miss to 2 years before that in postgame there.
Right.
After the leg hike and the heartbreaking loss.
Mm-hmm. Night and day. Completely
day.
different spot. Now, before
Engineered
I bring up
by one person.
Before I
Lane
bring
train.
up, can I get another one?
No,
not another one. Come on, you did it once. Now, before I bring up a name that I don't know why it should be brought up constantly in coaching searches at this point. Young guy. Looks like Sonny Dykes is just about all but signed up to be the next coach at TCU. And the replacement for him at SMU sort of starting their search early. Rhett Lashley, who is the offensive coordinator, he's still at Miami. That's who they're closing in on to replace Sonny Dykes.
From the Gus Malzahn coaching tree largely.
Good offensive coach. A name that I cannot understand why it should be thrown around constantly, Brett, and a guy that I know very well, Dan Lanning, defensive coordinator at Georgia.
Well, defense, that's it.
But you see what Kirby's done at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You see what Dave Aranda's done at Baylor. Offense, I get it's fun, it's sexy, everybody relates to it. But at the same time, a young guy, 35 years old, still hungry. Look at the job he's done at Georgia. It seems like, I'm not saying he should get the USC job or the LSU job, but for some of these openings, I don't know why his name is not more prominently mentioned. And he's from he went to William Jewell. He's a Missouri guy from Kansas City.
If there's a domino effect at Ole Miss, we'll see if his name's in the mix.
Yep, that'll do it for hour number one. When we come back for hour number two, we stay on this topic. We talk with Brent Beard on college football, 4:30. Bring on Drew Hill to talk about the Grizzlies' win of the year from the Daily Memphian. And at the bottom of the hour, get back to college football with our college football playoff top four. If you want to send in your top four, 901-360-8255, or message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and at sports56whbq.com. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats.
It's time to call Doug and Colin Brown for your house. Looking to buy or sell a home in Mississippi? Rely on Doug and Colin Brown, $1 Million Realtors at Regency Realty in Mississippi. This father-son combo will help you find your next dream home. With decades of experience, Doug and Colin Brown put honesty, integrity, and clients first. Call Doug and Colin Brown in Mississippi at 901-598-9168. Regency Realty, 901-350-5050.
Hey, Jeff Allen, Randy here. It's time to party down and get happy over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
That's right, Randy, and we'll make you happy with the 41 MPG 2022 Kia Forte, $189 a month, 36-month lease, just $29.99 due at signing. Or a 2022 Kia Sportage LX, $199, 36-month lease.
Plus, don't forget 2022 Kia Sorento LX. You Gossett at $289, 36-month lease. And they're both only $34.99 due at signing.
Plus, you'll always get Kia Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, must finance through Kia. Forte NE 415,838, MSRP 21,535, Sportage N7011 110, MSRP 27,635, Sorrento NGO 83,556, MSRP 29,215. Includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Kia, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tiger Nation, come out Saturday, November 27th for the final game of the season as the Tigers host Tulane. Once again, take advantage of the Chick-fil-A family plan for only $80, which gets you 4 tickets and 4 Chick-fil-A meal vouchers. That's Saturday, November 27th against Tulane at the Liberty Bowl. Sponsored by ABC. Visit GoTigersGoTix.com today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Back rolling, hour number 2. Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe and Stats. Bryant Dacus producing. Bryant Dacus, the ace better, just covered in the A&M versus Butler game.
Made $10 in the last hour me and you didn't make.
Good dub. I'm very proud.
Really good.
I'm proud of myself.
Buzz,
I'm glad
speaking of tight-fitting clothes, Buzz Williams, they put him in some schmediums out there at that tournament, didn't
Everything's a schmedium now, though.
Not
Back
me.
in like the 03 NBA draft, we had like the
things
loose
more
fitting
roomy.
suits.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they cut off the dress pants at the ankle. They don't wear dress socks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind
Kyle
short
Kuz
trousers.
was trying to bring it back.
I've always had trousers length ready for the flood. I can't knock that. But I don't want the
That's
French
the style
biker
now,
look on trousers though. I don't want them up mid calf.
The French biker, isn't that just the biker look in general?
Well, I had to. Boy, you talking about the last hour that I had called Condoleezza Rice a war criminal, talked about Navage for cleaning out her noses, encouraged our young producer to gamble, and did a really lame train imitation talking about Lane Kiffin when I went.
He did it again. I'm glad. There we go. We got our
I
second
love it.
one in.
I think we need it anytime we talk about Lane.
And okay, hold up. You didn't encourage Bryant to gamble. Bryant gambled.
You encouraged it.
You encouraged the bet he made. You just wanted him to win. That's all it was.
I'm just for W's, man. I'm for taking the man's cash.
So A&M
in fact,
gets
the goal of this show in 2022. Here is our stated show goal.
Let's hear it.
We're going to break the man.
I love it.
Here you go.
57-50 A&M wins over Butler.
We will be the men after 2022. We're breaking the man in 2022.
If the man wants to text us, AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255, get in the zone, AutoZone. And also you can watch us live and message us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and at sports56WHBQ.com. Let's bring in our friend Brent Beard, who normally talks to us on a Tuesday.
Save us, Brent. Save us.
Brent.
I just want to know if you guys got a 10-year deal like everybody else has gotten over the last
10
few
years,
days.
man.
Yeah, golly.
They
don't want to keep me around for 10. Come on.
I sign up for 1 week hitches every Monday morning.
Well, yeah, that's like the 1-year deal these coaches used to sign all the time.
But
to go from there, great to be with you guys. Happy Thanksgiving early.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
All our listeners. Appreciate you guys greatly. So, but yes, it's been listen, I love Thanksgiving and all that goes with it, but I'm in deep grief over this being the last week of the year as far as the season is concerned. I don't know where the world has gone, but at the same time, there's it just seems like there's something major that happens about every hour or so, isn't it?
That's how we get those every week new hitches every Monday morning, because there's a lot going on. Brent, it is my favorite week of the college football season. It is with it is very melancholic at times. It sure was last Saturday when we came back and Richard Cross said final segment from the Grove for 2021. It's hard to believe it goes by fast. I tell people all the time, and especially with every birthday candle added every year, the days are long, the years are really short.
Boy, and they really have been. I don't know why this year has seemed like it has gone so fast, but it really has. I mean, I barely even remember September now, to be honest with you, and all the preseason magazines and all that goes along with it. I think we're probably so involved with it that that's kind of what we get. But we have basically gotten a year in. We're very grateful for that and excited about
Banner
this weekend and where we go for championship week is next week, which is hard to believe.
Mm-hmm. Don't we? I mean, with the real quick, the Cal USC game, don't we still have 2 weeks by definition? Because they'll be on the Saturday after.
And remember, guys, on Saturday, December 11th, we have the Heisman Trophy ceremony that night, but we also have Army-Navy that afternoon. But it's a little bit I've never been one. Some people may accuse me of it, but I haven't been. It's a little bit like the heroin addict. You got to take him off of it a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
You can't make him go cold turkey and drive him crazy. So that's kind of what we're doing with the drawdown of the college football season. Brent, I waited yesterday specifically. I didn't say this, and I've waited through the first hour and 7 minutes today until we had you on to go here. And he has been very nice to me in the very few occasions that I've ever had the occasion to be around him. But I don't get it with Scott Strickland at Florida. I don't get how he is so safe, but yet he is the man that wanted to hire Chip Kelly, that wanted to hire Scott Frost, didn't get either one of those who have been colossal flops in their jobs. He got Dan Mullen. Nobody on God's green earth knew him better than Scott Strickland did. He also, so far, it may be turning around this year, with a pretty lame basketball hire in Mike White. How is Scott Strickland so bulletproof? Why no criticism of him?
Well, I think he's getting some now. To his good fortune, Mike White and this basketball team looks like it's got a little bit of something. And then one of their major sports, college baseball, Kevin O'Sullivan's team struggled last year. Softball team is always going to be good. He has got a lot of criticism, Brett, for I believe it was a hire for women's basketball that just turned out to be a disaster as far as the relationship that he had with the team and some, and I'll use this gently, some accusations there as far as a coach. So that's kind of come back to hit him. But look, he knows this is a big hire. He knows that they basically have got to get this right. I mean, But first of all, they need to hire a coach. Last name does begin with the letter M. The other would be that he's got to get a guy who is a recruiter. Got to find a guy, and I know this is minimal, but it really hurt Mullen. He's got to find a guy who can deal and get along with the media. Mullen struggled there with just absolute bizarre things that came out of his mouth anytime you put a microphone in front of him. But Brett, frankly, the criticism for Strickland, who still has, I would say, pretty good reviews here among the fans, it is increasing, which puts more pressure on this hire, which I frankly think they will have a hire probably. I'll say this. By a week from now when we're talking, I think Florida have a coach.
Who's that guy?
I mean, the flavor of the week so far is Billy Napier. And I get that. I think he would do a good job in a lot of ways. I mean, he hasn't coached as far as a Power 5 game, and people bring that up, but as far as organization and recruiting, dealing with the media, handling the staff, I think he gets high remarks for that. I mean, Dave Aranda's been mentioned a little bit, but that looks more now maybe for LSU at this point. Bob Stoops is always going to be mentioned. But I think he's retired.
Yeah, his name always
comes
up.
Got a
Spurrier, Urban.
Yeah, and this is hard to believe. Florida has had 4 coaches in 8 years.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that gets me is you have 10 SEC programs have made switches as far as their head coach is concerned since November of 2019.
Yeah.
10. And it's all to try to beat
10 minutes
Saban.
ago.
Yeah, and the only thing I get concerned with some of these SEC coaching switches, Dan Mullen, he had his downs. He did win the SEC East last year, so you know that he's capable of winning, but it just soured quickly.
Yes.
In a lot of situations, though, in this market, this offseason, are you going to get a guy that's better? You looked at last offseason with Auburn. You get rid of Gus, and you go get Harsin, who's 6-5 right now.
Is Billy Napier better, or is it just fresher?
That's your quote. That is more apropos as to what's going on. I mean, Napier is kind of checks off a lot of the boxes as far as Florida and what they need. Look, guys. The thing that happened here, though, and you've been around situations like this over the past few years, and Gabe will too. The fans were done with him, frankly.
Yeah, they fired him.
Yeah, they really did. And listen, people don't understand this sometimes, but this bears repeating. The media can give you a couple of extra years, or they can take a couple of extra years away. And by this week, in the beginning of this week, and over the weekend, the media had really turned against Mullen. That they basically the podcast, the website, print media, radio, were all looking at it's time for him to go. Now, Steve Spurrier, I think, probably, I'm sure his opinion was taken in here. He and Strickland are close. But I'll say this. When you're 21-13 in the league and you've lost 9 of your last 11 games in Power 5 competition, you're not going to hang around very long. And truly, fans, media, big money boosters, they decided this, even though they got to the SEC championship game last year, this thing was not working.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about what will happen in this weekend's game, Florida State?
I'm picking Florida State, frankly. I think Florida State is playing better. Look, guys, you remember this. They were 0-4.
Yeah.
And they have really rebounded.
And had lost to Jacksonville State.
Sure did. big win over Miami. Got it on got converted to 4th and 14, which is very impressive. Jordan Travis has really played well for them. He's 5-1 as a starter. Florida can run the ball. One of FSU's defensive strengths is they can stop the run. So I think right now, and again, you don't know how this team's going to play without Mullen, and just with the current
We're
staff.
playing well with Mullen either.
Yeah. So I just think Florida State's playing better at this point now. The fans,
a little hungrier.
Yeah, they are. The fans won't like it if they lose, but man, oh man, if Mullen had stayed and have lost that game at home, they may have had to make a decision after his post-game show.
That Florida State team's playing hungry or playing a lot better. Do you think that Mike Norvell may be turning a little bit of a corner?
Yes. Yeah, I think he is. Part of what Norvell had to do was he had a lot of roster management that had to come through. They finally settled on, as we mentioned, on the quarterback situation. I mean, Brett hit it. They're hungrier, that they're just playing more together. Now, look, does this mean he's going to win the ACC and go to the playoff next year? No, but they needed to turn a corner this year, particularly after the way that they started, and they appear to have done that. And obviously, he is safe. The Miami Manny Diaz situation is still kind of up in the air, although it may be looking like now with that. And see, they don't have an AD, so that Manny Diaz may actually get another year. So that there's been more turnover and less productivity as far as winning teams and records and championships in this state that we've seen in quite a while over the last few years.
If the U makes a change and Diaz is out, regardless of who they hire, it will make Mike Norvell, just like Bobby Bowden was for all those years, the senior status guy of the Big Three in the football-rich state of Florida, at FSU, Florida, and at the U. I got to go back one more time and take another slap at Scott Strickland. I got to do it. When people talk about the toxicity of the Egg Bowl, and both sides, please hear me, Mississippi State, please hear me, both sides is guilty of it and are as innocent of it as the other side. There's no one more than the other. There's not. Everybody gives it. Everybody gets it. We understand that. But Scott Strickland, he did his part in raising the toxicity of it with the gold helmets, the gold shoes, that all the hashtags, our state, all that garbage in the end zone that he did. And look what he did. Then he leaves. And Brent, if I hear it one more time, I'm not kidding you, my head will explode if I hear one more time. Did you know he's Bailey Howell's son-in-law? First of all, there aren't 9 people in our listening audience that knows who in the hell Bailey Howell is.
Absolutely not.
I have no idea.
No, you're right about it. Yeah, look. I mean, people's or
Andy owes a friend of mine a thank you note for giving him a pair of golf shoes.
So
he never wrote him a thank you note.
Either of y'all going to tell me who Bailey Howell is?
Great basketball player that played for the Celtics.
Now.
Okay.
Everybody's Googling it right now.
back when we had a peach basket.
Okay.
Yes, basically.
Yeah. So I haven't seen much film of Bailey Howell, is what you're telling me.
It's very grainy.
Yes, extremely.
So what happened today when you look at James Franklin getting a 10-year extension? Brent, that's what's supposed to happen. And me and Brett have had this conversation. Why is Sam Pittman and the people in his corner, why is that not happening for him?
Well, I think he's gone to at some point. I mean, what Pittman has done, frankly, to me, and I mean, basically at least doubling, if not tripling, the number of wins that he had. He has really created a culture. And look, we're in this thing now where I guess we got to give Jimmy Sexton some credit for this too. But we're in this thing now to where we're in 10-year I don't know where that's kind of happened, but that's kind of the magic number right now.
Used to be 5.
Absolutely. Hey, Brett, I'm not sure. You didn't used to be 2 at some point, but the reality is,
you know that W flag that they raise at Wrigley every time the Cubs win.
Yes.
It's at Poplar Ridgeway. Jimmy just ought to raise that W outside his office.
well, here's there are 2 ways of looking at this. Franklin, the last 2 seasons, is 11-9, and that is certainly nothing to jump up and down about. But I think what this is a reward. It's a couple things at least. We're tired of hearing his name associated with every school that has an opening, so let's get rid of that.
Right.
And 2, to his credit, is he, since Joe Pa and all that they've gone through, he has kind of calmed the storm there and created a better culture. And I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that's not as much to do with this as it is what his record's been the last 2 or 3 years.
He better get him an offense.
Right. Oh, Lord, that's the truth.
Or a better quarterback.
Yeah. And look,
they go hand in glove.
And at some point, you got to start winning some big games, don't you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got the Auburn win this year. That doesn't look so big now. It doesn't look so big now, but and I think for the last 2 years, to be fair, Brent, I think you could chalk up last year to COVID madness. That team was just all over the place.
Supply chain issues, Brent. We'll write it out.
Yeah, but you know, guys, the other reality for this is what about when and we've seen this over and over again. And Florida basically did it with Mullen. And look, I get why they did it. They gave him the extension and the raise after last year. But the problem is some of these schools just go gaga over this, and they overextend themselves, and they're stuck with this as far as the buyout and what are they going to do next and so forth. And he comes back to haunt them. My thing is, look, if they want to sign him, I don't have any problem with him getting an extension or raise. But as Brad said a minute ago, why don't you make this thing 5 years and give him modest raise for recruiting or however you want to put that? That to me would be better than putting yourself on a hook for 10 years.
Yeah. Not a prayer Mel Tucker and James Franklin coach at Michigan State and Penn State in 10 years. Not a prayer.
No, absolutely not. No.
We will see, though. We will see. He's Brent Beard, our man talking college football at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays. Brent, we appreciate it, man. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too, guys. Enjoyed it much. Take care.
Thank you, Brent.
Yeah,
Brent Beard. Yeah.
I love James Franklin. We're blaming last year's season on supply chain issues and COVID.
Why not? Everything else is.
What else? There's not enough car chips out there. Material prices are up.
That's the excuse for everything, isn't it?
Yeah. I really think that's a fair excuse, though, for James Franklin and what happened last year. I think it's
the
fair.
Supply chain. The supply chain of offensive players.
Yes.
That's what he got behind. I know this. In Memphis, we've got something really special with the 2 Belly Acres locations, and in 2022 we will celebrate the 3rd location opening right here in the city. Belly Acres' motto is City-fied, Farm Fresh, and the goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the entire family, and they have. Overton Square, two great locations, Overton Square and in Regalia, 6130 Poplar, Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. The signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef, salads, sandwiches, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, like the Dare You or the Double Dare You and the Melt in Your Mouth, all so good. You have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo, and their fries are so good. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres teams develop using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. It feels like family when you're in either location. The location at Overton Square or in Regalia. The goal at Belly Acres, it's simple: to become even more sustainable as they grow, and grow they will in 2022. The very best quality available in Memphis is at Belly Acres. Burgers, shakes, and smiles at Belly Acres. Saturday in the Iron Bowl, 20-point favorite for Bama on the road at Auburn. Auburn's won the last two there in 2017 with Jarrett Stidham and in 2019 with Bo Nix. Any chance of straight-up upset?
I don't even know. There's no chance. There's no chance.
It'd make T.J. Finley a legend.
Yes, it would. 3 straight losses. Most recently to South Carolina. T.J. Finley, it didn't look good. And unless Tank Bigsby and Jaquez Hunter can have some type of Heisman-esque ridiculous performance, it's going to be a blowout.
Simultaneous to Finley going for 253, something like that. You can throw on the Bama secondary. It's very good.
But can T.J. Finley throw on the Bama secondary?
Yeah.
Do they have enough on the outside? Wide receiver-wise, are they good enough? We'll have to see. But 20 points is substantial when you're talking about Bama visiting Auburn. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about the Grizzlies' win of the year. Grizz beat the Jazz in Utah.
This one really was. This one really was the win of the year.
To 118, last-second 3 there by Jaren Jackson Jr. to put them over the edge. We'll talk with Drew Hill about that from the Daily Memphian right here on Sports 56 98.5.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Woloshin, and I've moved now. You can catch me with all my friends from 10 to 11. We'll go all over the country to bring you whatever is happening that day. Wallow and Friends from 10 to 11 on Sports 56 and 98.5.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best-kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m., 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town. Grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, 225 Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
I was getting my coffee today, Jose, and I heard there's a new way to get our jobs done at a price we want to pay for them. Grow profits and find new workers.
Sure, boss.
I downloaded the ZipCat construction app, Jose. Used the work icon, created the job description, and priced it.
Yes, boss.
Another contractor will buy it, and we got 3 days to accept and mutually approve the job, Jose.
Sure thing.
New concept. No more estimates. We control our price with ZipCat. Contractors, plumbers, electricians, etc. Find jobs listed with the ZipCat app. Download the ZipCat app now for free on the App Store and Google Play. ZipCat app, the best tool in your toolbox.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. Think what you could do with that. But if you join right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees. So that's another $170 you'll save. And MediShare is really different. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. More than 400,000 people are members, and they've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So, yes, they can handle your bills too. This may be the time to make the switch. Join before November 30th for the additional savings. It's so easy to find out more. They're great to talk to. In fact, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike for your 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. Just $349 a month. And get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Run, don't walk to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
Dr. NCO 33599 MSRP 29345 84 at 4.9% APR 3,000 down includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Push the limits of what's possible in the all-new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. With a bold exterior and premium interior, Outlander reimagines the SUV. Rule the road with Mitsubishi Super all-wheel control and wireless smartphone technology. Plus, an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Drive one today, starting at $31,702 at Gossett Mitsubishi. Get Thunderstruck.
Super all-wheel controls an available feature on all trim levels. Price based on an SEC UV. Important restrictions and rules apply. See retailer for limited warranty and more details. Offer ends 12/13/21.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple. Provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. Two great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday, 11A to 9P. Friday and Saturday, 11A to 10P. Regalia, Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Back rolling on Sports Time. Grizzlies get their win of the year. Win 119-118 on the road in Utah. And to talk with us about that, our friend from the Daily Memphian, Drew Hill, joins us right now at DrewHill_DM on Twitter. Drew, how's it going, man?
It's going well. It's going well. It's a busy week. 3 home games coming up this weekend, but I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are doing well, too.
What are your plans for Thanksgiving? Hanging out in the city?
I'll be here. My family is they are coming in town on or tomorrow on Wednesday. So, the girlfriend is scrambling to make sure that the house gets completely clean. Yeah. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So I'll be scrubbing baseboards tonight, I'm sure, until about 10 p.m.
Yeah, I swept the whole house today.
There you go.
Same
there
thing.
You go.
Same thing in my household.
So my parents are coming here. They're actually going to go to the Grizzlies game on Wednesday night while I work.
Good deal.
So hopefully there's a big crowd. They haven't really been to a Grizzlies game together. They've been to a Tigers game. So I'm hoping they get the true Memphis experience. I hope that they have fun at the game on Wednesday.
Boy, I do too, Drew. That sounds like a fun time. As a proud graduate of the capstone of the University of Alabama, I know you'll be watching the Iron Bowl Saturday, won't you?
Oh, yes. I will have my eyes on the Iron Bowl. Listen, I'm a little nervous. I always get a little nervous before this game because it has a tendency to get really weird.
Especially in
Auburn voodoo. Yep. The Auburn voodoo is real, Drew. I've seen it forever.
No, I know it's real. I know. Trust me, I'm a believer too. But the thing about Auburn is they're much more scary when they only have 2 losses. Good news is they don't have 2 losses, so I feel good about that. And I was just talking to somebody about this today, because there's a LSU fan in our office who likes to give me a hard time. I'm not going to say his name on the radio because I don't even want to give him the credit. He keeps saying, well, I can't wait for Alabama to get their butt kicked by Georgia. And look, I know Alabama's not as good as Georgia this year. Everybody knows it. You go watch an Alabama game, Alabama never beats themselves, and they've tried to beat themselves on several occasions this year. But Alabama has this guy playing quarterback named Bryce Young, and he's pretty good.
Yep.
And so I think that there's a chance that Alabama will make Georgia score. I'm not saying they'll win the game, but I think it'll be competitive at least.
They'll cut him loose and let him run.
And also,
they haven't all year.
How can a LSU fan even begin to try to talk trash to a Bama fan?
I can answer that because they're an LSU fan.
Exactly.
It's an easy explanation, I guess.
Drew, Saturday will be my 9th Iron Bowl on the Plains. I've never seen Alabama win in Auburn. It'll be my 23rd Iron Bowl anywhere, 14 in T-Town and some in Birmingham. But the 9th in Auburn, I've never seen Alabama win in Auburn.
Oh, my God. We got to keep you at home, Brett. We can't let you go.
I'll be there Saturday.
Oh, no. That's trouble. That's bad news for me.
25th Egg Bowl all-time for me on Thursday night, 23rd Iron Bowl on Saturday.
I'm going to add to the bad juju. I'm calling an Alabama cover easy. Easy money. They're going to get over 19.5.
It's 19,
cover.
Yeah.
Easy cover.
Well, it started at 18, so that means it's going Alabama's way.
Mm-hmm.
That's Auburn is struggling right now, but as we mentioned, it gets weird. It gets weird
Drew,
down there. You never know.
Drew can convince me that the roller coaster aspect of the Grizzlies, the Jekyll and Hyde last night was the end of that. That win on the road in Salt Lake City, now Toronto, Atlanta, Sacramento at home. This is the time you can chop some wood and develop a winning consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's a good chance for the Grizzlies. We were talking about this on our Grizzlies podcast that we released earlier this afternoon. It's a chance for the Grizzlies to win 3 games, certainly. I think you'd be happy if they won 2 out of the 3. I think expecting all 3, although they'll probably be favored in all 3, is a little bit high of expectations. Sounds like they've got a good chance to get Dylan Brooks back very soon, which will help. I don't think that DeAnthony's going to play, at least not in these first 2 games. So, you're still down one of your better perimeter defenders, even if you get one guy back. I'm not totally convinced that the roller coaster is over. We are only, 17 games into the regular season at this point, and typically, there are games where you're going to have no chance to win. There's going to be games where your opponent plays terrible too. It's still so early that the Grizzlies are going to have more of those games. So that idea that, that the roller coaster is over, I don't know about that, but you just hope that the stinker performances are a little bit less frequent at this point.
So covering them every day, seeing them play every night, have you caught on to any type of trend with this team? How they look in pregame? Is there anything that you can say that even resembles a trend in knowing what's going to happen any given night?
That's an interesting question. A lot of it correlates with Jaren. I know that's kind of the obvious answer, right? When Jaren plays well, they play well. Jaren, some days he's very happy-go-lucky.
Right.
And I can't say for sure whether or not every time I've seen him and he seems to be in a really good mood that he's played well. I don't know. That might be a little misleading if I were to say that. But, I do think he's the difference on this team. Because you saw last night, John Morant took 30 shots, and he only made 9 of them. By his standards, it was not a good John Morant game. He still scored 30. And so, but they don't win that game, even though John Morant scores 30, if they don't get the help from Jaren. Jaren, the most forgotten thing in that game last night will be the third quarter stretch when Ja was getting ready to come out of the game and the Grizzlies fell down by 8. And Jaren scored 9 of 11 points for the Grizzlies, brought him back in the game, and it's going to be forgotten because immediately after Jaren checked out, Jaren checked out to get his last rest before he came in for the rest of the game. Immediately after he checked out, the Grizzlies went back down again, and they needed Desmond Bane to bring him back up to keep the game close. But every time that the Grizzlies were on the cusp of maybe letting that game get out of hand, either Desmond Bane or Jaren Jackson Jr. saved them. And we've seen Bane do it on several occasions. We haven't seen Jaren do that with consistency yet this year. But it does feel like at this point we're trending towards more consecutive good games from Jaren than a mixed bag of bad and good. So I think that's definitely a positive sign.
Drew, is it any statistical marker the Grizzlies hit that usually leads to victory? A made 3 number, or holding the other team to a made 3 number, or winning the jump ball to start the game? Is there any statistical trend?
I don't have anything specific for you, but I've got one that I know I'm pretty certain is a good one. If the Grizzlies get to 115 points, they've got a good chance to win. And I say that half joking because obviously that's a lot of points. And any team would win a lot if they scored 115 points. But the Grizzlies are giving up 114 points per game. That might have gone up, honestly, than after last night. They still didn't play good defensively last night. The difference for the Grizzlies have been consistent all season long. They've been horrible on defense all season long. From start to finish, they have been bad on defense. They've had a couple games against the Nuggets and a game against the Rockets where the Nuggets couldn't make anything and the Rockets were the Rockets, and that has helped their defense look a little bit better. The truth is it's been really, really bad, but they still are sitting here with the winning record because when they score and they play well offensively, there's not a lot of teams in the NBA that can stop them. So if you're just going to assume that the defense is going to be bad, and especially without Dylan in the lineup, that's a pretty safe assumption. Grizzlies are going to have to at least get to 115 points to give themselves a chance to win. So I'd say that. Get to 115 points, and you might have a chance.
But truthfully, PSA, if you're betting on this team, 889-9789, because this is the most up and down team I have seen in a long, long time. To see what they did in Minnesota, 138-95, just got absolutely smoked, and come back in a game where you were just hoping they would be competitive. They actually win the dang thing. It's ridiculous. Now, we've been talking defense all year and sort of trying to figure out what their best defensive lineup is. What do you think their best defensive lineup is, and what do you think that their strengths are? What would lead? Is it knockaways? Is it forcing turnovers? Because truthfully, if you have to have Ja Morant on the floor at all times, he's just naturally a minus defender. That's just sort of who he is. What do they do good if they end up turning this defense around?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer at first, because if you said best defensive lineup, you wouldn't include Ja in that lineup, right? But you kind of he
has to be on the floor.
You got to assume that he's going to be in this lineup. I think that the best defensive lineup would probably be some sort of combination of Jaren at center, Brandon at the 4, Kyle at the 3, and then Brooks, and then Morant.
Right.
I mean, maybe. I mean, that leaves out Melton, who's also a good defender. If you wanted to go a little bit smaller, you could slide Kyle to the 4, and you could slide Dylan to the 3, and then play Melton and Morant. That's a decent defensive lineup. But if the Grizzlies are going to get better on defense, it's just going to take a better effort, and it's going to take a little bit better luck. I mean, it's ridiculous, the percentages that these other teams are shooting up for 3 against the Grizzlies. And not all of it is the Grizzlies' fault. Like, the fact that it is so bad does suggest that their three-point defense is not good. I'm not suggesting that they're only unlucky. I mean, it's a combination of being, bad at defending the perimeter and also being unlucky. Part of this will be getting a little bit more lucky, where some teams actually miss some shots from 3. And the other part of it will be playing the better defensive players for longer stretches of the game. And I think we kind of saw Jenkins go to that last night. He didn't play Xavier Tillman. He played a 9-man rotation. It was a little surprising that Zaire was in the final minutes, but he staggered the minutes at center. He did a very good job of managing that game. For as much criticism as we give him for some of the lineups that are out there, I thought he did a really good job last night, and he kept it together defensively while also keeping some units on the floor that you knew could score.
And I think the biggest thing that we've seen as far as lineups are concerned, it seems to be that there's this fascination with John Conchar playing him 20 minutes a night. I understand that when DeAnthony Melton comes back, it won't be that way. But does it sort of seem like Taylor Jenkins is going to give him those opportunities regardless of the situation?
I would say that with Zaire. I wouldn't necessarily say that with Conchar. I don't really have a problem with Conchar's minutes last night. I mean,
well, yeah,
at least he's going to play hard, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to give you some effort defensively.
And you needed somebody else with Melton out.
Yeah, you needed somebody else. And so I'm not sure. I think if the team's fully healthy, you're going to see very, very limited Conchar minutes. I think if you're going to have a quip with any of these players playing the amount of minutes that they are, the one that you could take issue with might be Zaire, because he struggled defensively, and the team seems and he hasn't shot the ball well, but the team is very committed to him playing. I personally don't have any problem with it, because I think you need him to develop. You hope that he turns into a good player. I wrote about him last week and said, go look at his stat line. It's not that far off from what Chris Middleton did when he was a rookie. You can't really give up on these players after 1 year, especially when they're 19, 20 years old. So maybe if you had any issue with playing somebody too many minutes, it might be Zaire Williams. But personally, I don't take any issue to that.
As far as this team-only meeting that they had in Utah, how much do you think you could attribute that to what we saw last night in the win? Do you think that there was a message that got across?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's such a hard.
Right.
Like, isn't that such a overused narrative. I
Right,
mean,
of
it's
course.
something
Really
to
is.
write about. Like if it's something that the team is talking about, I'm going to write about it.
Right.
I was trying to like also kind of make it come across as maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But I thought that it was interesting. Like I really liked what Des said after the Minnesota game, which, he didn't really have to say what he did. What he ended up saying was essentially that I'm tired of losing games like this. Like, I'm tired of playing 2 good games and then playing terrible in the third. Like, I think everyone's sick of having to talk about it. And so, and then Jaw got up there and he asked him about the game, and he gave you 1 or 2 word answers because he was pissed off that they lost by that many points. And that's also understandable. But I think what Desmond said goes a lot further with the fans and making people feel better about the team.
Right.
And it was just good to know that even if they're not saying it publicly, they're saying it to each other behind closed doors. It's not something that they're just brushing off and saying, whatever, we'll go get them next time. They're taking it to heart. I think that's positive that came out of it, but I don't know if that's the reason why they won the game last night.
I hear you. He's our man, Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian, at @DrewHill_DM. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Real quick, do you have any Thanksgiving food takes that you want to throw at us? The floor is yours.
Ham is better than turkey.
Whoa, okay.
That's the controversial one, I guess.
That
I like
is-
ham more than I like turkey.
But we only eat turkey about once a year. I mean, it really, in that form. I mean,
I eat turkey on sandwiches.
Yeah,
but,
sub
I'm
sandwiches.
not
But in
eating
that
turkey like
form, like big chunks of turkey, that's the only time we do it.
And look up a hot brown. It's a
What's a hot
Louisville dish. I'm not going to go into all the details
Okay.
because I don't want to screw it up. My mom makes it. She'll make it for with the leftovers. You need the
Hot
turkey
brown.
leftovers to make it. Look up a hot brown. If you're listening to this,
Sounds
you make
dirty.
yourself a hot
If we're
brown.
being honest, Drew, that sounds dirty.
It's a
Sounds real
Kentucky
dirty, man.
it's a Kentucky Derby special
Okay.
dish. It's
Love
got like gravy and turkey and all sorts of good stuff.
Okay,
You'll
hot
like
brown. I got you. We appreciate it, Drew.
We do, Drew.
All right.
Thank you, man.
See you guys.
You have a good one, man.
You got it. Drew Hill with us talking the Grizzlies every week, and we enjoy that. All the Tahoes and all the Silverados, they are in Olive Branch. They're at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, and that's where you need to start your holiday. The new Silverados and Tahoes, they're either there, a lot of them are there, or even more on the way. Claim yours right now, the new 2021 or 2022 down in Olive Branch. A lot full of certified pre-owned Chevys. If it's on your holiday wish list, they have it. Santa's delivered to All-Star Chevrolet. Holiday travel begins at All-Star. An added Chevy bonus in November for all military, first responders, teachers, and college students. With any new All-Star Chevy you want, you enjoy an extra $500. Remember, it's not the Pike, it's not South Haven, it's not Mount Moriah, it's not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. If you want to sell any car, truck, or SUV, All-Star will buy it even if you owe money on it. Even if you didn't buy one of theirs, call Jeff or Kevin, Scott, or Drew, or any member of that great team, and you can bring your title and you'll get a check today. Find new roads to Olive Branch and All-Star Chevrolet and follow them on the web at allstarautogroup.com.
We will be right back with our college football playoff top 4. If you want to join the conversation, listener line 901-360-8255. Also message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and at Sports56WHBQ.com. You're listening to Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 98.5.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
If you were to look up comfort food in the dictionary, you should find a picture of the menu from Sunrise on Jefferson. Whether it's for lunch or dinner, there's simply nothing like the food at Sunrise. Breakfast is served all day, every day, with house-made biscuit sandwiches like the usual, with bacon, egg, and cheddar, or the Rooster, with a fried chicken breast, house-made pickles, and Tabasco honey. At lunch, tuck into a downtown burger with bacon and cheddar, or a kickin' chicken salad. I think the name speaks for itself. If you're craving great food served fresh and fast, you're looking for Sunrise.
Visit Frontier Western Store this holiday season and check out new goodies for under the tree. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing are also available. Frontier recently remodeled and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After some Ariat boots, then check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's everyday pricing is lower than online and chain stores. So when you're ready for your next pair of boots, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Black Friday's on at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Everything's 50 to 70% off. Plus, shop all new doorbusters, including 60% off sweaters and cozy add-ons. Shop the sale through November 27th at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184. A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $7.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $9.99. And veggie plate, $8.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Hey, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Barks now offers you just about everything you need for your furry family member. Daycare, luxury boarding, award-winning grooming, veterinary checkups, diagnostic services including digital x-ray, fluoroscopy and ultrasound, complete dental service, vaccinations, preventative care for fleas, ticks, and heartworms, and just about any needed surgical treatment. And did I mention that we treat cats and all types of exotic pets? We are the newest member of the Barks family and the newest, most high-tech veterinary hospital in the Mid-South. Located directly across the street from Barks and Recreation, we are a full-service hospital with a fantastic, experienced staff. If you're having problems getting a timely appointment at your current vet's facility, we are here to serve you. Call us at 901-979-8888. Barks and Medication. Excellence in veterinary care.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Back in on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. Just got done with Drew Hill, and Drew Hill told us about a hot brown, so I looked up what a hot brown was. An open-faced sandwich of turkey breast, or turkey breast and ham and bacon covered in creamy Mornay sauce and baked or broiled until the bread is crisp and the sauce begins to brown. Sounds good. I'd eat it once, but it does sound like a stomach ache for me waiting to happen. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
They sell antacids every day at the pharmacy.
No, You're 100% right about that. But Grizzlies got the win last night. They're back in action tomorrow versus the Raptors, and you can visit one of my favorite new places, the WynnBET Sports Bar. Ante up, it's a party. Join December 4th and 5th from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. I'll be there on the 4th at the new WynnBET Sports Bar inside FedEx Forum to sweeten the deal. And they're sweetening the deal. Don't get it twisted. They're giving away free pretzel bites with any purchase during the weekend only. Visit FedExForum.com/WynnBET Sports Bar for more. Again, FedExForum.com/WynnBET Sports Bar for more information on that. Let's go ahead and get into our college football playoff top four. There we go. So, every single week since we've started doing our top four alongside the College Football Playoff Committee, I think we can fairly assume our number one team is Georgia. 11-0, notable wins all across the board, and they have not really struggled all that much so far, except for in their first game against Clemson. For me, this is where I want to hear the reaction from our text line 901-360-8255. 2, I go Ohio State. 10-1 have looked really good the past 2 weeks. Hammered the number 7 team in the country, Michigan State, 56-7 this past weekend. They have 2 ranked wins in a row by a lot, scoring 50 points. Their past 3 games, they're averaging 50 points per game, giving up only 15. So I like Ohio State jumping Alabama this week. At 3, though, I do have Alabama with their notable win being Ole Miss. I know Brett will make a point later at 5:30 to discuss Notre Dame versus Alabama and what they've put on their resume. And 4, I go Cincinnati. If they don't get in tonight, again, I'm taking my first flight to Texas. They beat Notre Dame on the road, beat Indiana, beat UCF. They have earned it to this point. Oregon is dropping off the face of the earth. Michigan State's dropping off the face of the earth. Cincinnati needs to be in tonight.
Here's my top 4. Number 1, Georgia. I don't think I really have to tell anybody anything that they don't already know. Number 2, Cincinnati, ahead of Ohio State for this reason. Do we know for a fact a team that lost at home to a pretty good Oregon team, that they could go on the road and win at Notre Dame? Do we know that for a fact? Ohio State could do that?
We don't, although
but we know Cincinnati did.
I do believe that they could. I do believe they could go into Notre Dame.
I'm in the no business. I'm not into belief business,
now,
so I got Cincinnati too.
This next weekend, though, if they go into Michigan and beat the number 6 team in the country, they could be in a good spot. It's a good win.
Will be. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4 for me, and I will elaborate on it more at 5:30, I have Notre Dame. You mentioned the big win for Alabama being Ole Miss. That's who I have as the number 1 win for Alabama. Number 1 win for Notre Dame, Wisconsin at Soldier Field. Which one do you think is the better win of the two? Notre Dame beating Wisconsin, or Alabama at home beating Ole Miss?
Oh, gosh. I'd say Alabama beating Ole Miss, though. I'd lean slightly Alabama, Ole Miss. Although it was a neutral field that they got it done, and they won by a whole lot.
Let's call it a push. Just for the sake of argument. Let's call it a push, and then we'll go through the rest of us. I think I made the case for 10-9-8 being Notre Dame stronger, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. You did. I'm assuming we're going to get 7 through 1 at 5:30. I can't wait for that. Also in college football, really quick, LSU's Eli Ricks, one of their star cornerbacks, is in the transfer portal. He has 2 more years wherever he transfers to, and he is a heck of a talent. Was alongside Derek Stingley Jr., and a lot of people thought he was the more talented guy this year, but he is in the transfer portal. Also, we're going to have Beau Marchant here in the next segment to start off hour number 3. Looks like the Titans have released Adrian Peterson after only a couple of weeks. It looks like it'll be the end of the road.
57-year-old Adrian Peterson.
It'll be
what
the
a
end of the road. It'll be the end of the road. I'm surprised they're letting him go this quick, but Adrian Peterson is done with the Titans. In hour number 3, I mentioned Beau Marchant, 5:30. Brett will tell you about the resume comparing of Notre Dame and Alabama when we get to what's trending. 5:45, we'll get out with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Hour 3 on the way on Sports 56 98.5.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma-frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt. When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out. This Black Friday, get the original Peloton bike at our best holiday price ever, $1,495. All access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm with John Burgos in the alley at the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see you. How are things at the restaurant?
Brett, things in the restaurant are fine, but like all restaurateurs will tell you, things are still not back to normal. Supply chains are interrupted. One week we can't find charcoal. Another week we're short on ribs. Another week they can't find the plastic bottles to fill our sauce jars with. I've watched in awe as our fellow Memphis restaurateurs have worked their way through these past months.
John, always new and exciting things at the Rendezvous.
People know we have Greek salad, vegetarian red beans and rice, and vegetarian nachos. But now we have desserts. Miss Barbara of O Taste and See has individually wrapped some wonderful desserts. We have key lime pie, chess pie, chocolate chess pie, and pecan pie. Not pecan pie, pecan pie. We also have a new twist at the Rendezvous. We now have outdoor dining. It's in the side alley along the Rendezvous, not the one in the front. And depending on the weather and depending on staffing, please call ahead to make sure we're open. And we hope it becomes the mainstay here at the Rendezvous.
Mr. Charlie Burgos' world-famous Rendezvous in the alley in downtown Memphis.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Final hour on this busy Tuesday. We talked the National Football League that ended last night but starts back with 3 games on Thursday. 11:30 game, a 3:30 game, and a night game on Thursday on Thanksgiving in the National Football League. Beau Marchant will join us to talk all things NFL as he does every Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock throughout the year. This hour of our show brought to you by the good people at 5704 Goodman Road. That's DeSoto Auto Sales. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. They're online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. All the cars test-driven, all checked out thoroughly, bumper to bumper, head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, DeSoto Auto Sales will go find that special car just for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in, you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere. No high-pressure sales, but they do care about your time, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. Find the car you want, test drive that car, credit approved, paperwork completed, all in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee. They keep it that simple because they know we live in a world today that time really matters, especially during this holiday season. No, you can't waste a second this time of year. DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road and online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. Bo Marchant, I'm sorry, Gabe. I didn't know if you wanted me to bring Bo in or you.
You go ahead.
I'm sorry, Gabe. I blew that,
good.
didn't I? I'm sorry. Bo Marchant from collegetopro.com joins us now. I was so excited to get to you. I stepped all over Gabe, for which I am very sorry.
Bo, what's happening?
Hey, Bo.
Hey, gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you, our friend.
You know what? I asked our last guest, so I'm going to ask you, too. Do you have any hardcore Thanksgiving food takes like Mac Jones and Matt Judon this morning?
No, nothing. I'm pretty
crazy?
easy going.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty easy going. My son's cooking Thanksgiving dinner for us this week, so we're excited about that. He is a magnificent cook, so he really, I mean, he goes, you know, he put it this way, and what he does bad, I can tell you about that off the air, but what he does good is he can cook. So.
That very, very good. I know a family that none of them like the traditional Thanksgiving fare. You know what they do? They do Tex-Mex at lunch on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know the best part is family, friends, football, and really giving thanks. I mean, we all get the holiday season starting to buzz. You know, it's a good time to just kind of use that day to reset.
Whatever you want to make of it. Whatever you want to. If you want to order takeout, that's your business on that day.
Well, and some of my family might not talk to me anymore about if I'm about to air. Now, I come from a very traditional Italian family, all the great aunts, the the whole spiel of, fish on Christmas Eve and the meals and the meals and the meals. A couple Christmases ago, my mom got sick. Nothing bad, but she was just under the weather where she usually did the cooking, and it was kind of last minute. So Christmas Day is kind of like, we have nothing to eat. So, we had nothing. So we got Chinese. So now that's our new, we eat everything else, everything my mom and my aunts make, and then we still order Chinese just to have it on the table. So
I love it.
All of it. Yeah. Well, We're talking about giving thanks, and Joe Judge didn't give much thanks to Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett did some getting ousted last night. And honestly, probably since he got hired, a long time coming. Never thought he should have gotten that job in general. I don't know how well he is versed in coaching today's offenses. But what do you make of that Giants franchise in general? It's deeper than Jason Garrett.
That is a franchise that gets a lot of abuse, and maybe it's deservingly of. I always liked Daniel Jones, and at the time when he came out and he was picked, everybody was up in arms, and Dwayne Haskins should have been the guy. Well, I think we have at least learned that Dwayne Haskins definitely is not even, on Daniel Jones's radar in terms of being a competitive quarterback in the National Football League. They've had a ton of injuries. The offensive line has been a mess for years, and they've tried to address it. They've just failed doing so. They bought Nate Soldier in as a free agent a couple years back from the Patriots, and he was out for COVID. He elected not to play, and he comes back. I mean, I like what they're doing, even though they're bad, if that makes any sense. But, Garrett, you never saw that offense get better. But, missing Barkley for as much time as he missed, and, they were down. They were almost pulling guys off the streets to play some of these skill positions. So, I don't think Garrett he ever saw that progression that you want to see, especially at this point. I think, 10, 11 games into the season, you want to say, hey, you know what, we're heading in the right direction. Or in the case of the Giants, you're just kind of coming off a bye week and you showed no improvement. But, and that said, I think it's a perfect storm. I mean, even though they're coming off a bye, Tampa lost 2 straight. You knew with that defense and Brady, that they were going to come out and probably beat anybody last night. They weren't going to lose 3 in a row, especially at home. But with that said, Garrett really never did much. And, there's a reason why he was let go in Dallas. That offense was, it just wasn't just that. It was 85, 67 as a head coach. Not a bad record, but, not, some fantastic thing. It would be, each year we did the show. Brett knows. We'd go, what's the Jason Garrett show? Is he going to get fired this week? Will he make it till week 7? And, lo and behold, he does Dick Cannon Dallas, and it only took about a season, a little over a season and a half for him to get jettisoned out of. But I think with all the rambling that I said, Joe Judge knows that he may be the next guy to go, so he needs to start making some wholesale changes before they make the wholesale change on himself.
That's it. But it's been bad for the Giants for a while now. I think after that second Super Bowl win against the Patriots, they wasted the next 3 years. Most of that was on Jerry Reese. It fell to him for all that. Now it's falling to Gettleman. Here's who it really is. I think, just from a million miles away, I think the Maras and the Tisches got very comfortable with those 2 Super Bowl wins. Let's make a lot of money at MetLife. We don't have to put a whole lot back into it. We'll have 80,000 every Sunday, and I think they've wasted a lot of time.
It has. If you're a Giants fan, and that's been a respectable franchise, they have not been good of late. But like I said, I like what they're doing. It's just not. You just don't see it on the field. I hope what you've mentioned. There could be truth to that. I hope that's not the case, because that is that is one of those tried and true families historically of the National Football League. You hate to see the Giants are kind of, wavering in the moment and just kind of, spinning their wheels, but they still got a lot of work to do. Fortunately, though, Dallas has taken a couple steps back in the last few weeks, and the Eagles are now hot on the heels of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East.
You mentioned liking Daniel Jones. I don't think he's terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's had his opportunity, though. He's got one more year than they could they have an option if they want to keep him. I doubt they will. Do you think he could be a clipboard holder for a while here in the NFL, or do you think he has another chance to be a starter somewhere?
Yeah, I still support Jones. It goes back to everything with the Giants. The line has been a mess. Barkley, he basically misses all of last season. The receivers, in and out. Kenneth Golladay has basically been, absent.
Right.
There's so many things offensively where you just, you always want to point to the quarterback. And does he make mistakes? Yeah. And he had a bad game last night, but the Giants were bad last night. I just think, in a different offense, maybe he needs a new start somewhere else where, there's some pieces in place. I kind of look at it as the Mason Rudolph thing with the Steelers. When Ben's out, even when he filled in, when he had COVID, not that he didn't play bad, but still the line's not up to 100%. They still can't run the ball. There's certain things that just, you take in that, it's not all that guy's fault, but you're looking at him as, the centerpiece. And there was a time in his rookie year, I think he threw more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes in the last 6 games of the year. And that's when Mahomes was, MVP. So, he's shown some flashes.
Had his moments.
He's cut downs, but again, I think there's so many things wrong with the New York Giants. We could start with Joe Judge. We could start with Jason Garrett. Now he's gone. Right. And then, the next piece to start with is, Gettleman or Daniel Jones. But, even if you got rid of all 4 of those guys, what are you going to bring back where you're like, wow, we're this much better. But, they got a lot of work to do. And as Brett mentioned, they won a couple Super Bowls, and they've really been dismal since that point.
Since we're on the topic of firings with Jason Garrett, how many more days do you think Matt Nagy has in Chicago?
About 2.
Yeah.
He's had to deny reports of him getting fired after this next game. So
Thursday's going to be a big one. The Lions are showing some life. They tied the Steelers. They really took the Browns to task on Sunday. If they can pull one off on Thanksgiving, that's a division game. So we know there's a lot of bad blood just because of the divisions, black and blue. If he loses this game and he allows the Lions to get their first win,
it's definitely over.
Yeah, you could say it's, you could say Monday morning he might not have a job.
Yeah, if he doesn't beat the Lions, he won't have a job at sunset on Thursday. He'll be done. It sounds like big changes in order for the Bears because they recognize, Bo, they don't want to waste Justin Fields.
No, and we joke, with the Bears, they're such a weird team. When I look at each team, I try to identify them. As offense and defense. What are you trying to do? Until this day, I really don't know what the offensive identity with any quarterback under center that the Bears have had. We could go back to Mitchell Trubisky with Fields. All these guys. What is their philosophy? They bring in Jimmy Graham, they sign Cole Kmet in the draft. It's just and the things that they do, you just scratch your head. Like, are you a 2 tight end set? Are you a run-based oriented team? Are you a spread offense? When you look at them, I at least don't know. And I don't say I watch the Bears every single week, but I do the condensed games. I've seen at least 6 of their games this year, enough to know that I'm lost on offensively what the Bears do. And that's Nagy's specialty is the offense. And if we want to talk about all the failures of failures, I think absent of Adam Gase in terms of offensive coordinators turning into head coaches that have just failed miserably, I think the next guy up has to be Matt Nagy in my mind.
Mm-hmm. And last week was kind of interesting. You had the Texans beat the Titans. The Titans just waived Adrian Peterson, but a team that is in the same division as the Titans, the Colts, just absolutely manhandled the Bills, who a lot of people were picking to be a Super Bowl contender. What are we supposed to think about the Colts and then in turn the Bills through that, what we saw on Sunday?
Well, I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl, so that shows you what I think of the Bills. And I also picked the Colts to win the AFC South, so I was pretty high on the Colts at the beginning of the season. That was a big win. And I talked to a few guys from the Colts prior to the game, and they said as much. I mean, I think that's obvious. Obviously, that was a big game, and they were able to pull it out. But I think the more concerning thing is we know the Colts are trending in the right direction. It's where the Buffalo Bills are trending. They got a game, next week. They got the Patriots coming to, Orchard Park. That's going to be a game. After that game, you're talking 4 or 5 games left in the season. They're a game back. You're 2 games back, 4 or 5 games left. That's a lot of games to make up, especially on the Patriots and the way that they're playing. So I think the biggest concern is the Bills do not want to run the football. They refuse to do it, and they're kind of almost falling into that Philadelphia, flavor when Philadelphia refused to run the ball. Now, they're 5-6. The Eagles are running the ball almost more than anybody in the league and having success. I think the Buffalo Bills need to find a running game just to take pressure off Allen. I mean, it's Allen running the ball. It's Allen throwing the ball. It's just too much Josh Allen. And, you got Singletary there. You got Zach Moss. They just refuse to run the football. And at the end of the day, we see a one-dimensional offense that's kind of catching up to them.
Yep, and Bo, here come the Chiefs. It seems like we counted them out a little too early. 4 straight wins and big wins, too. I mean, you look at the Packers, Raiders, Cowboys all in a row.
I texted my buddy Sunday. I said, watching this game with the Chiefs, I said, I think the soul of Buddy Ryan is inside Steve Spagnuolo and this team.
Right. Love it.
If you've never saw a single football game in your life, and that was the first game you ever watched, you were like, this is the greatest defense I've ever seen in my life. Because if we told you the team that they're playing with a star in their helmet arguably is the best offense in the National Football League, where you're like, well, they don't look very good. And then you saw, Chris Jones and company really, really put it on them. And they put it on them from the first series. I mean, the first series, 3-and-out by Dallas, and they never let up. And Dallas never was in the game. I mean, there was never a point where you're like, oh, Dallas is going to make, this is their shot. Even the last drive, that was just garbage time. Even if they would have scored, they would have had to get, onside punt, blah, 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 or onside kick, all that. I mean, Chiefs are there. And, this is what they did the year they won the Super Bowl. They struggled. And then I remember the last 5 games in 2019, the defense was kind of, and then Spagnuolo got those guys, and I think they averaged like 10 points a game over the last, 5 games of that particular season when they won the Super Bowl. And you kind of see this year, these last 4 games, 2 games in the single digits, 17's the highest, another one of 14. But what they did to Dallas Sunday, I think when we talk about all wins, that could have been the most impressive win by any team against a high-quality opponent.
Last thing for our friend Bo Marchant, at Bo Marchant on Twitter. The Browns and Baker Mayfield, obviously last week he starts getting the boos, 13-10 win over the Lions. Lions stuck in there as long as they could. What do you think of Baker Mayfield as far as the future goes for the Browns?
Well, I don't think, unless he's going to accept a lot less money than what his, companions at the quarterback position get, Gabe, I don't know. Are you going to give him $30 million a year when you're a power-based running team? That's a tricky, slippery slope for the Browns, and I think they were smart. Like I said, I love Baker Mayfield. He was my number one quarterback in that draft. So I had all my chickens in the basket for Baker Mayfield. But is he good? Yeah, he's good. But in the big moments, he's banged up. So any abuse that he gets, I think, is a little bit invalid just because he's hurt. But up to this point, you gotta play better in some of the games than he has, and that's, I think, where the frustration leads. And I think when he first got there, he had a fantastic rookie season. You thought, hey, this is Baker's team. The second year, I think it took some time to the Browns to identify that Nick Chubb was the answer, and the way that they were going to have success was, not the arm of Mayfield, but the legs of Chubb and that running game. At the end of the day, I don't think, unless he takes a big pay cut, I don't see how the Browns give a big load of money to him to play quarterback in Cleveland.
And it's so tough because he really has brought them to heights that they hadn't seen in a long, long time, right? They hadn't won a playoff game in 20 years. They hadn't been to the playoffs in a long, long time. And you just go down, the list of quarterbacks that failed there is, it's infinite, it feels like. But
I'll start one right now. Hey, real quick rumor. How about Russell Wilson to the Browns next year?
Really?
They got money. They
I would do that.
What about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Are you on board with that one? Are you there?
You know what? I just don't see the Steelers making that splash move. The Steelers are more about the franchise than the player over the franchise. I just don't think they would. I don't think they're going to coddle that type of personality, especially this late in that guy's career. If you drafted him and you kind of go through the whole marriage, I accept that. But I think that kind of personality that late in the career, where you really got to walk on pins, I don't think that's the Steelers' way. But I think the Browns and Wilson, there's some something to think about there.
But Sierra and Russell Wilson in Cleveland, that way, I don't know about that fit. I don't know about that fit, but from a football standpoint, I understand. I certainly
Hey, the Kardashians love Cleveland.
Do they?
Great point.
Yeah, the Kardashians.
With
one of
Tristan Thompson.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So so they're all. There's
Gabe,
a
be up on your Kardashian trivia. Come on now.
How are you out Kardashianing me?
No kidding.
Unbelievable, Bo. Man, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Bo. Happy
Have
Thanksgiving.
A good Thanksgiving.
Hey, God bless you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you. Bo Marchant with us every week. And some really sad news to pass along. It is broken on Twitter, and I got a text from a good friend, from my friend Kurt McNair in Tuscaloosa, the passing of the venerable longtime columnist at the Tuscaloosa News, Cecil Hurt. Cecil started his career as a collegian, as a student at the Capstone at the Crimson White, and covered Alabama as closely as anybody that has ever done it and throughout the history of Alabama journalism, particularly with that school that means so much to so many people. And he always did it in a forthright, respectful manner, and had the respect of those coaches, had the respect of from Coach Bryant as a collegian to now Nick Saban. I think Cecil's dad played football for Ears Whitworth in the 50s before Mama called and Coach Bryant came back to Alabama. But Cecil Hurt often a guest on these airwaves and a guest on other shows in Memphis, and just an expert when it came to Alabama football. And he will be missed. He had battled some serious health issues through the years, most notably these last 2 years. And what I got from Kirk said, dear friend Cecil Hurt has passed away this afternoon at UAB Medical Center in Birmingham. He was being treated for pneumonia, complicated by underlying issues. Cecil passed peacefully while surrounded by family and a close friend. Please keep Cecil's family in your prayers as they cope with his passing. His family sincerely appreciates the outpouring of love and support shown to Cecil throughout this process. They also would like to thank the doctors, nurses, and staff at UAB ICU for the exemplary care and compassion they provided to Cecil and his family. Funeral arrangements will be announced at a later date. Rest in peace, Cecil.
It's so very sad. And Never got to meet Cecil. Have heard only wonderful things
Mr.
about him, and obviously saw all of his coverage all over the years, and did a phenomenal job. Just so very
the
sad.
exemplary fairness that he always showed, and didn't get caught up in the Iron Bowl world. But you knew who he was for. But he was never a cheerleader, and he always called it like he saw it, and was old school. I'm going to say Cecil, about 4 or 5 years older than me. I'd say about 63 or 64. It'd be interesting to see the exact age. I knew he was a little older than me. I think a freshman, 78 or 79, so about 4 years older than me, 3 or 4 years older than me.
Very, very sad news on Cecil Hurd. But on that news, we're going to go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we have some college basketball to discuss, and Brett's going to make his case for Notre Dame over the Crimson Tide in the college football playoff. We'll be right back on Sports 56, 98.5.
Happy Hour has a new time. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour now from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Black Friday's on at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Everything's 50 to 70% off. Plus, shop all new doorbusters, including 60% off sweaters and cozy add-ons. Shop the sale through November 27th at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com.
There's nothing more frustrating than when your garage door breaks down. You're trying to get to work and it just won't open. What's the deal? Well, I'm not a garage door expert, but my friends at New Day Overhead Doors are. I was using New Day to fix my garage way before they came aboard with us. They are your one-stop shop for all your garage door and garage door opener maintenance needs. True professionals. And get this, New Day will beat their major competitors' price, oftentimes by half. That's half the price. 30 years experience, honest, dependable, family-owned business. Don't ignore those strange noises your garage door may be making. It's New Day Overhead Doors for a simple repair or new garage door opener system. To schedule your appointment, call 901-351-5177. That's 901-351-5177. New Day Overhead Doors.
Hey, Memphis, thinking about buying a truck or SUV? Then come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. Want a red truck, black truck, white truck? How about a blue truck? Black wheels, chrome wheels. Come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, extended cab, crew cab. Want a lifted truck? Come to the Sunrise Truck Corral. Want a diesel? How about a gas engine? Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Jeep, GMC, Toyota. We got them all at the Sunrise Truck Corral, the only dedicated truck lot in Memphis. Can't find a truck you like? Call, click, or come in. We'll find you the dream truck. Sunrise Truck Corral, Old Hummer Building on Highway 64 in Bartlett. We make it fun to buy a truck.
Tiger Nation, come out Saturday, November 27th for the final game of the season as the Tigers host Tulane. Once again, take advantage of the Chick-fil-A family plan for only $80, which gets you 4 tickets and 4 Chick-fil-A meal vouchers. That's Saturday, November 27th against Tulane at the Liberty Bowl. Sponsored by ABC. Visit GoTigersGoTix.com today.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Bunch of college basketball going on now and through the rest of the week into the weekend. Some interesting scores. Northwestern leads Georgia 62-45 at the Roman Legends Classic. But I think even more than that, especially for our audience, Houston trailing Wisconsin in the second half with 10 minutes to play. Wisconsin up 51-39. They took a 20-point lead into the half, and Houston has cut into it.
And Houston's really athletic, but boy, doesn't Wisconsin as much as anybody out in sports, both in football and in basketball. They know who they are, don't they?
It's great guard, the style they play. They do such a good job of getting you out of the pace that you want to play. And that's good. I figured this game would be low scoring. Looks like Houston's going to try to claw their way back into this one. But Wisconsin has done a good job in football and basketball for years, and it's all their style. It's their style.
With a lot of different coaches in both football and in men's basketball, they know who they are, and I think that is just one of the keys to life. I know this, Gabe. I'm losing the timing award in a classic manner, having to make this case now on the heels of the passing of a legend in Cecil Hurt. And I would tell people, if you didn't catch it live, and I didn't catch all of it, and I'm going to try to catch the replay of it, Paul Feinbaum was as eloquent as I've ever heard him and as moved as I've ever seen him. And you could always tell, both when they were around each other in a press box, or Paul had Cecil on his show, radio or TV through the years, they both looked at each other with an enormous amount of respect. They never went at each other, no matter if they disagreed. I think Cecil would probably say about this list I'm getting ready to do, you make a good case. It's ignorant and it's wrong, but you make a good case. And last time I saw Cecil was in the press box at the Alabama Ole Miss game, and I'm sure Saturday the great people at Auburn will have a position in the press box for Cecil in his memory. Details for the service yet to emerge. I can tell you this: I'm going to take clothes with me appropriate to attend a service either Friday or Sunday, or even really early Saturday morning if they have that in Tuscaloosa for him, because legendary Alabama resource. I mean when people like Steve Townsend and Ken Gaddy and Larry White, when those people look to him as the resource and with the reverence, he knew Alabama football, and he did.
Brett, and I'm relatively new to the industry. Truthfully, but I know who Cecil Hurt is, and I know how much he meant, and I knew that he was the absolute. When you're talking about Alabama athletics, football, basketball, whatever it is, he's the guy.
He was the guy. All right, now with the timing award loss of all time, let me make this case. We started with the Alabama and Notre Dame, both of the losses, and we agreed that the loss for Notre Dame to Cincinnati was better than Alabama's loss at College Station. We both agreed that number one win for Alabama was Ole Miss. Number one win for Notre Dame was Wisconsin. We gave that a push. Let's go to the number twos.
Okay.
Alabama home win over Arkansas.
Solid.
Notre Dame with the home win over North Carolina. Which one's better in your opinion, Gabe? I'm going to let you decide.
I'm going to go Arkansas on that particular one.
Okay, so I'm
the Arkansas
star to Bama. Third best win. And let's just say my list of the best, just for the sake of argument, that I'm right. You could debate that, and we could nitpick this. And here's one where we probably could nitpick it. Number 3, best Alabama. Number 3, best win, Mississippi State. Number 3 for Notre Dame, Virginia.
Gosh. These are tough.
I'll go with whatever you tell me, Big 71.
I'll go
Bama, Notre Dame, or push.
I'll go Bama on that one. Bama on that one. State's ranked.
All right.
Has some good ones.
Number 4, Bama against Tennessee, Notre Dame against Virginia Tech.
I'm going to go Tech.
Okay.
No, I'm going Tennessee. Let me switch that back around.
Since you had a disagreement with yourself, you want to go push? Or you want to go Tennessee?
Let's lean Tennessee. For Bama.
Tennessee it is. Number 5, LSU or FSU?
At this point, I'm going to have to go FSU. I'm going FSU. Hard FSU there.
All right. I had that as a push. I'll go FSU. Number 6, Florida or Purdue? I know they're never mentioned in the same sentence, but think
Purdue.
about it for this year.
Purdue.
It's no doubt
No
it's
doubt.
Boilers. It's no doubt it's Boilers. Number 7, the U or USC?
The U or USC for this year?
For this year. That's what
that's
the debate tonight.
It's either either a push or Miami. Push or Miami for me.
I think it's either USC or push.
Okay.
Which one do you want? I'm going to
Let's
go with you.
push. Let's go push then.
We'll go push. Then we talked about Georgia Tech over New Mexico State. We talked about Toledo over Southern Miss. And we talked Navy over Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
So stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 stars for Notre Dame. 3 stars for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Stars didn't fall over Alabama. That's the song.
And I understand the case you're making. I really do.
It could have been 5-4. That could have been 5-4-1. That could have been 4-4-2.
What's bizarre to me is how we apply. And I think I say we. I shouldn't say we. I should say the College Football Playoff Committee applies strength of schedule. Coming into the year, Alabama's strength of schedule was high because they had Miami on the schedule. They had all their SEC opponents on the schedule. But we learned that Miami's not all that good. We learned that some of these wins they ended up eking out. The one against Florida doesn't mean all that much.
We've learned the SEC's not that good.
Right.
It's good.
So
it's good.
I think when you're talking about the College Football Playoff Committee, they're going to give them the benefit of the doubt because when they came into the season, their strength of schedule was higher.
And it's Alabama. And I said that in August when they were preseason number 1. If anybody's ever deserved this, the preseason rank, it's Alabama. If they hadn't, who in the heck has? Mm-hmm. But as the season goes along, last year doesn't matter. I don't need anybody to say, yeah, but they beat them last year. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We're talking about 2021 football, the season of 2021. And I think the Bama aplomb, the Bama gravitas, the Bryce Young's so much better at his position than the Notre Dame quarterback is at his, that skews a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And their offense has been completely different this year. The run game with Brian Robinson has not been as good, and it's just offensive line. You thought coming into the year they'd be very solid up front. Evan Neal's going to be one of the first tackles off the board. They have some good guys.
Might be
up front.
the first player.
And they just haven't really done a good job, especially in SEC play, paving the way. I still like this Bama team, but
I do too.
Not near as much as past years. I don't believe that this is and I say this every day, really, when in college football season, especially toward the end. I believe in Nick Saban in a one-game plan against anybody. I believe in him.
I do too, about as much as anything.
But it just seems like such a hill to climb to get over the Georgia hump this year.
And let me see Iron Bowl on Saturday, and if they put it on Auburn like I think they will, this time next week I will go from doubting Alabama to advocating that they can pull the upset, and because I think the Georgia secondary is the least best part of a great defense, and that's just trying to find something
they can get
that's
after
least
the
best.
quarterback, though. They have a good
that
front
four
seven.
knows, and they've been protecting Bryce Young. He's been coached all year. You do not run because we don't have anything behind you. They cannot go to a backup quarterback. They can't lose him. But when you're going for a championship, and you're going for the 1 seed, it's what to the wall.
So I want to cross the state there and talk about Auburn. Brian Harsin, 6-5 this year. I've had my questions the entire time since he took over for Gus Malzahn if he was going to be any better than Gus Malzahn. And it's proven that no. This year, and obviously there's been some things happen. Now he's with TJ Finley. He's got a backup quarterback in there. It's been tough. But you also hear about Brian Harsin maybe flirting with Washington and their opening. How much do you think at this point Auburn, I'm not going to say regrets, going and hiring Brian Harsin, but how much do you think they're thinking about the decision they made this past offseason?
I don't think there's any remorse about moving on from Gus, but your question is about who they eventually hire.
Right.
I don't think a lot. The best part of the Auburn year was really good. You had good running game, you had pretty good defense, and they were riding pretty high, and it came undone at College Station offensively, and then Bo Nix got hurt, and then the second half collapsed against Mississippi State, and then that at South Carolina last weekend was almost hard to believe. But now I know many have talked about Brian Harsin going to Washington, but wouldn't the state of Washington medical and health provisos around Nick Rolovich also be around Brian Harsin, who I don't know that he's been anti-vaxxer or just it's none of your business about my health.
Yes, he's done the it's none of your business thing. I don't know if he's actually gotten the vaccine. It seems like he hasn't. That's the sort of rumor out there, is that he hasn't. So I think there would be some type of thing there. But he has.
Just say I've gotten it.
There's definitely been some flirtation there.
But Gabe, isn't it something? You know, one of the areas we know in sports, so many times colleges invoke and I think hide behind HIPAA. And we know both in polite society and in business, you don't ask too many questions about people's own personal health stuff. You just don't. Mm-hmm. But in this pandemic, man, it is opened up a lot of things. Now we all lead and very proudly, flaunting, your vaccine card, and we got both shots, and I'm in line for the booster, and we will tell everything you tell about. You will tell it. You will ask people about it when you wouldn't dare walk up to somebody and go, "Hey, I understand you've sought some psychiatric help. Is that true?" You wouldn't dare do that to anybody.
And on the other side, there's a lot of people who take a lot of pride in not being vaccinated. It's just such a polarized conversation. And it's gotten us to a point where we lead in pressers asking guys
how's that
about
drug and alcohol treatment going for you, Bob?
Exactly.
Nobody would dream of doing that.
Yes, but it's a different
day. Hey, I think you need to drop some weight. You need to get in shape there, Tubbo.
It's a different day. It's a different day. It is. We have gone a weird direction.
We wouldn't dream of doing that, but we will to a total stranger. You got your shots?
Yep. I'm immunized.
Yeah.
Right. I'm immunized.
I'm vaccinated.
I'm just kidding. I'm vaccinated.
And proud of it. And ready to get the booster as soon as this weekend.
It's bizarre, especially through the Aaron Rodgers conversation and everything that followed that week. He basically lied about it. And we're asking these things as if they have to tell the truth and have to be very straightforward and transparent. They don't have to be. And it's been a bizarre time when we're talking about.
But we don't put Antonio Brown through the scrutiny that we did Aaron Rodgers.
Are we? So he had a fake vaccination card. That is proven. Or
I don't know because that's
what I'm saying.
That's the allegation.
There's some weird things out there. The Buccaneers said that they did all the work they could to make sure that it was real, and other people say it was fake. And this is also an accusation from a personal chef. So I guess that's part of it. And where Aaron Rodgers was not in a mask, not following protocol, and walking around like he was fully vaccinated. So it's a little different. But I'll tell you this: if Antonio Brown, if the rumors are true, he'll catch a lot. He'll catch a whole lot for having a fake vaccination card. Now back to college basketball. Last night was interesting in the fact that in the AAC, there's sort of a mixed bag in the AAC. Houston, who's trailing right now to Wisconsin, beat Butler by a whole lot, beat them by 18.
Cincinnati, here come the Cougs, only down 5 now with 5 to go.
3-point game now.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
3-point game.
Yeah.
You got any cash on this?
The over.
The over.
You tell
in that game?
I love it.
It's 122.
Are they going to get there?
They should.
Oh yeah,
they should.
Okay.
I'm calling it a W.
Cincinnati beat Illinois. Number 14 Illinois, 71-51. They held Illinois to 28% field goal, 13% from 3, and they look very good. They look very good.
Guess who meets tonight in Kansas City? Bearcats, Razorbacks. That's a big AAC SEC game. Cincinnati win that one, then Arkansas go on to a good rest of the year. You factor all that head-to-head and that W the rest of the way. That helps AAC. That helps Memphis Tigers.
Well, you want to talk about head-to-head? This is an interesting one. SMU loses to Loyola Marymount 76-70. Obviously, they're in the West Coast Conference. Did you see the West Coast Conference clean up last night? Of course, Gonzaga is part of the conference. Went 6-1.
WCC, that's what they were chanting.
Went 6-1. Santa Clara had a win over TCU. Gonzaga, of course, beat Central Michigan. St. Mary's beat Notre Dame. The only game they lost was the late game, was the one you were supposed to text us for. Fresno State ended up beating Pepperdine.
Big talk. Oh, no action.
But, yeah, I mean, it looks like if we always talk about Gonzaga going through the easiest conference
you think
schedule.
Anybody had the WCC 6-teamer last night on the 6 wins?
Probably Bryant. Bryant may have had it. We have to ask him, though.
We need to keep that red line number handy for Bryant.
889-9789. Tonight, Zags versus UCLA.
We like the action. We're all talk, aren't we?
Yeah. Zags versus UCLA tonight.
Gonzaga and UCLA tonight. Now, tomorrow we're not going to be able to catch up with our friend Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated and College Basketball Central, but he's got a great piece out there about, come on, in these big college basketball games, let's have these tip times at some sane times. Instead of tipping at 9 o'clock, that thing needs to be tipping about 6 o'clock.
You can't really help it, though, if you're in the same venue, and that's what we've been seeing with the tournaments. That's what we see every year with the tournaments.
But I think these championship games need to go earlier instead of later.
Right. Another little thing you're talking about late tip times. A team we don't ever get to see, USC, beat Dixie State last night. But I looked in, I checked in on our old friend Boogie Ellis. Have you seen what he's done through 4 games? Leading scorer. 17 points per game. Granted, they haven't played anybody.
Final 14 for Bryant Dacus, USC Trojans.
Boogie Ellis is playing some good basketball with USC. Sometimes guys just need a switch of scenery.
One of my Final Four picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
You think it's actually going to happen? You believe it?
That's why I picked them.
Yeah, I don't know.
2 weeks ain't scared you off of it, has it?
Yeah. No, not at all.
I mean, you get scared 2 weeks in. How much did you really believe in?
It's all about confidence.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get to a break real quick. When we come back, we'll finish up this Tuesday edition of our show with Taco Bell Crunch Time right here on Sports 56 98.5.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
Listen up, Mid-South. Are you searching for peace of mind in today's crazy? Well, we got it with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2021 Kia Forte 41 MPG Highway. $189, 36-month lease, $29.99 due at signing. Or check out 2022 Kia Sportage LX 4-wheel drive. $199, 36-month lease. And 2022 Kia Sorento LX 4-wheel drive. $289, 36-month lease. And they're both only $34.99 due at signing. You want it? We Gossett at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Must finance through Kia. Forte NE 415-838, MSRP 21,535. Sportage N 7011-110, MSRP 27,635. Sorrento NGO 83,556, MSRP 29,215. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
The Christmas sale is happening now at Family Leisure. Did you know that's where Santa goes to shop? Oh, yes. Why? Because arcades are up to 25% off. Air hockey and foosball tables, they start at just $149.99. You can get great deals on hot tubs and saunas. Let me tell you, that is perfect for the winter weather. Trampolines, up to 20% off. This is the best time to buy. Pool tables and shuffleboard tables in stock and ready for delivery. They're not waiting on a boat somewhere. Speaking of delivery, those schedules are filling up very, very fast. So reserve your date now, just in time for Christmas. It's the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. It's happening now. Remember, shop early, shop local, and shop where Santa shops. It's Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40. It's where family and fun come together for the holidays.
Years from now, when you're telling stories about watching Ja Morant when he was just starting out, you're going to want to remember where you were when you were watching him. And that should be Sweetgrass Next Door in the heart of Cooper Young. It's the perfect neighborhood bar that also just happens to have plenty of high-def TVs always tuned to the Grizzlies if they're on. It's a laid-back atmosphere at Sweetgrass Next Door, a place where you can enjoy a game, practically any game, without having to deal with a lot of people that don't seem to know how to behave in public. If you're looking for great food, signature cocktails, and the friendliest people around, you're looking for Sweetgrass Next Door in the heart of Cooper Young.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Before we wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time, I want to tell you again about everything going on at the commissary. Either place, the new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, for the hickory smoked turkey for the holiday bird. Not too late. You can still get yours by calling the Germantown commissary at 901-754-5540 or Collierville 901-979-5540. Whole turkey and hams, all the sides, pint gravy, quart of dressing, quart of sweet potato casserole. They have all the great desserts as well. Pecan pie, lemon icebox pie, the banana pudding. The bulk pricing, turkey and dressing with gravy, sliced off the bone, $7.95 per person. Turkey and ham with dressing and gravy, off the bone, $8.95 per person. Cranberry sauce can be added. Let them do all the work at the commissary, and don't forget about that barbecue. And if you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. All that great Memphis-style barbecue, the nachos invented there in the early 80s. Walker Taylor and his staff wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and they can make it easy for you. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com. It's time for Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Looking for something new at Taco Bell? Try the original tacos meets the instant classic, nacho fries. There's bound to be some magic. Nacho fries are essentially building blocks for culinary imagination. Slightly seasoned, go with bold spices. Warm nacho cheese and sour cream, loaded taco fries are covered with seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, ranch, tomato, and shredded cheese. In short, the legend of nacho fries lives on.
Learned a couple of things today, Brett. One being Michael Strahan on December 9th is going to take off on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin flight New Shepard. All I hope is that I think they're going to leave. They're not landing anywhere. They're just going to stay up there for a second, come right back down. There's 3 other people that will be on the flight. They all paid their way. I just hope that Jeff Bezos changed the shape of his Blue Origin rocket, because have you seen that thing?
For a lot of people
shape.
At the financial level of Michael Strahan, if you fly on a private plane, you have to fly on a plane with 2 pilots. They will not insure you life insurance with just a single pilot. What does that do to your life insurance rates to get on the Blue Origin?
It's a good question. Probably makes them raise pretty substantially. Also, I learned this. Ja Morant, there's an ad campaign around him and there's a commercial by Nike. He will be the subject of one of their campaigns called Says Who. If you haven't seen it, I'll retweet it at G_Coon71 on my Twitter. Very interesting ad, very cool ad that shows a lot of different places here in Memphis.
I learned today that Georgia's won 15 straight. That's the longest win streak in college football. Cincinnati at 11, UTSA at 11, Houston at 10. Why aren't people advocating for UTSA to be in the playoffs? Why not, Gabe?
Too small. Group of 5. Haven't played anybody. Strength of schedule.
Now, people get mad when you say that about AAC teams.
Yeah, they sure do, don't they? Now, what I could have done without, first of all, is the case that Brett made for Notre Dame getting in over Alabama. Although I completely understand his case. It was a great case. I don't know if I could stomach seeing Notre Dame back in the college football playoff after we've seen.
Oh, it's not happening.
After we've seen how it has ended every single other time. I guess what I could have done without today is this.
Well, my Bama friends are outraged at me. Woo!
Really? Have you gotten texts? We've gotten hateful texts
yeah.
already? Already? We don't need that.
No.
What? I mean,
Former Bama season ticket holder. You can't be that mad
fair.
at me.
You're being fair.
That's
not all
allowed.
that is. What I could have done without is Bears DB Jalen Johnson. He took a shot at Matt Nagy. What he said was, how many games have we lost in a row? There's nothing to talk about. We aren't going to beat a dead horse. We are all men coming in here and saying we have to figure out a way. To me, it's BS. We have to find ways to win. We just have to get it done, whatever it is. Like I said, whatever it is, but there's nothing to keep coming in here and talking about and keep talking about and having all these rah-rah speeches. We've had 5 weeks of rah-rah speeches. I don't think that talking is anything we need to be doing. I think that's a direct shot at Matt Nagy. Again, I asked Bo how long he thinks Matt Nagy has left. I don't think he has but a week at the most.
At the most. I could do without this. The college football media will jam it down our throat about the best rivalry in all of college football, Michigan and Ohio State. It's not even close. The best rivalry in college football is still the Iron Bowl. Maybe down a little bit this year.
It's close. I mean, it's close, Brett. Come on.
Not
it's
even
close.
When does it produce national championships?
It's close. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean the rivalry's bad because you're not getting a national championship out of it.
Who do you think leads that all-time rivalry?
Which one?
Michigan and Ohio State.
I would probably say Ohio State, based on recent history.
58-51 all-time Michigan, and they've lost 8 in a row. If there's 8 straight by either side in the Iron Bowl, people will lose their minds.
Right. But and I guess there's some recent history to that, saying that maybe it's not as big of a rivalry as we make it out to be since Jim Harbaugh has been there. Jim Harbaugh hasn't won
with his
one.
big goose egg for national championships.
Yes.
Same number Bo Schembechler had.
Yes, we understand that, but it's close. It is close.
Not even close. No way. And they're going to jam it down our throats the next 5 days.
What we're looking forward to tonight, we have Gonzaga versus UCLA. That should be a very fun one. College football playoff ranking
Razorbacks
release.
in Cincinnati.
That should be a good
Could
one.
be a historic night for the Bearcats athletics program.
I know we
Crack
gave
that top 4 and beat SEC in Kansas City. What a night.
I know we gave our CFP top 4. What do you actually think it'll be tonight? Georgia,
Ohio State, Bama, Cincinnati.
Okay. Cincinnati.
It's coming on in just a few minutes. This is a historic night if Cincinnati cracks through there.
I'm
it
excited
can be
to watch.
done. And this is with 2 more reveals to go.
Yep,
one it matters.
I am excited to watch. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to Greg Gasson, Brent Beard, Drew Hill, and Bo Marchant for joining us. Tomorrow we'll have Alex Kuhn, Alan Bell, Barrett Jones, Jason Munns, and Bruce Marshall will be our final show of this short week. After that, we will see you on that Monday. But thank you for joining us again. Good rest of your night. We'll holler at you tomorrow at 3.
I'm with John Burgos in the alley at the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see you. How are things at the restaurant?
Thank you, Brett. We are here and we're making it. I have to say a big thank you to all of our customers that ordered food during the curbside days, bought gift certificate when times were slow, ordered food to be shipped from our shipping kitchen, and then came back down to eat when our doors reopened. We owe a debt to the Memphis and surrounding community for supporting us when we need it.